Admit defeat, rookie. Give it to me.
What? How do you even think about it? You don't know what you're doing. Give it back.
How dare you look down on me? Give it to me!
Looks like it's my turn.
And welcome back to the Delta Force Community Tournament here for Europe. We are back again with operations. That's right, don't touch the sides or the nose will turn. Wait a minute, that's the wrong one. Of course, it is Delta Force. You need to get in, get out with as much value as possible. We had our semi-finals the other day, if you were watching. Great stuff coming through there, and we're expecting great things today too.
Yeah, the good thing about today is we get to watch the same teams all today. If you remember from semi-finals, what we watched was 4 separate teams from 4 separate groups. We didn't actually get to see Group E at all in action, but this time around we get to see all the teams who are coming through. So let's take a look at the prize pool. Now this all breaks down because some of these teams will be playing for a large amount of money. $3,000 at the top side there, and also there is that $200 for the most kills on one player reward there to be considered too. So you could be taking home $3,200 if you're able to come out first.
And of course, we had our semi-finals the other day, all 5 groups playing 4 matches apiece. The top team from each of the groups made it through, and we have got an invited team as well that we're playing up against them. We'll be catching up with them in just a moment. The rule set for this is all of these teams are going to be dropping into every single map, and they will be trying to extract with as much value as possible. That is the name of the game. You drop in, you loot, you try and stop the other teams from looting if you want to, and then you get out of there as fast as you can.
Are you saying you drop in to just unearth some Vine memories for me there for a second? But we won't go too much into that. But you're right, getting as much extraction value is the name of the game. We actually saw quite a lot over on Brakesh where you'd have multiple teams dropping down towards that south side. Obviously, the spawns are random, but one team often would get the entirety of the northern edge to themselves, including museum, and just loot all day long, get themselves around about 6 mil extract. So I really am hoping there's some variations in terms of spawns this time around, and it won't be just that massive brawl down in the Tower of Babel over on Brakesh. Though Space City has been a lot more fun, and we have had a couple of matches where there has been some serious deals over on the top side of the map on that northeast side of things. But obviously very, very good, very fun.
Yeah, we had, of course, those semi-finals. Let's catch up with just how all of that went down. Of course, that was on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. These were the groups that came on through. We'll be taking a look at who qualified out of these sets of groups on that Thursday's games. But remember, it is only one team from each of these groups that made it through. I think that the team that we sort of saw have that Brakesh performance blank was over in that last game, if I'm not mistaken, on Brakesh, having that north side situation where it was that chase right towards getting that top spot, and it was Pari, I want to say Pari, who needed to go down in order for I think it was the Bunny Reapers to catch up towards them, and that's that north side dichotomy that you were talking about. Although Pari didn't even get that much out, they were happy with the 2 mil or so, the lead that they had. But either way, it was a very tense finale, and let's catch up with some of the highlights that happened back on Thursday. Got one down, but it is traded off there. Looks for the lineup. An excellent little peek wide comes through from Polish Bigos to be able to keep the team safe right now. Almost Famous holding on, and over the wall he goes for the little flank around the edge, and a second player falls. The reses need to come through for Only Famous. Moves out wide. 7 a.m. on their last legs, able to make it work. That is Almost Famous going down, and Short Pro are here. Hang on a minute. Index has this corner. He's got one on the lineup. 2, 3. Is he going to be able to get the spray down? Doesn't catch Edry. Oh, it does get one knock. There's backup from across the way. Get the healing done. Index is there in the smoke. Tries to step forwards. So much danger, and 7 a.m. may have just thrown it all away. 4 million in value, and RNG. Are they down too? What just happened? No, they extracted. Silent as the grave, and maybe looking to put a few in there with them too. Shots start to ring out. It's getting louder. Volume turned all the way up, but the nades try and connect. That's a lot of damage, and a beautiful knockdown. Closing side for them, and they will get that flush out, taking it all the way away. peek out wide. It's all up to Flex, but there's nothing doing, and Snowman takes the heat.
Player out, yeah, maybe down towards that right-hand side. Whilst it was all getting a little bit terrifying, and now they are truly in the jaws of the Tyrannosaurus Rex as the boys make their way down, push on through for the leaves, good spray from the hip. They're able to control the location. Oh, the step has been crazy.
He's there, he's looking for the second, looking for the third, a little bit of trigger discipline, but immediately lights him up, turns him around, looks for the last, and takes half his health bar with him.
Is this just going to be
He's got his teammate. Oh, he's got the spray. Immediate re-knock, but can he get his wits together? Jumps up on over. Oh my goodness me. This man's he's flying around corners like he's Batman. What is going on? Looks for the headshot, goes for one, doesn't quite get the second, but the forward push is already on for Ballas. That smoke train is there, dropping forwards, trying to keep a little bit more pressure. Nades, ordnance, one not found. Looking for a second as well. Jop 4K's down, it's all up to Radgar. Low HP though for both of his opposing players. Looks for the reload, they're gone already. Still the standoff continues. The Bunny Reapers. Oh, he definitely spotted him. Oh, he's seen him.
Nice.
And he didn't move, but immediately goes for that repeat. Little shimmy out sideways. And that's the second player down. They know where the last player is. Immediately the rollout. They need to back it up. Sure, you go for one, but the trade is on. The action was coming through thick and fast, and here are the standings as they sat. Of course, it is the top one team from each group that made it through, and from Group A, that was Maybe Pro in convincing fashion, almost 10 mil value ahead of anybody else.
Yeah, pretty funny because that was a team that got held out right at the gate on game one by 7 a.m. and they weren't able to extract. But despite all that, they came through in their next 3 games for a massive amount of value. 13 million over 3 games is very astonishingly good. It is the Cucarachas up in first place for Group B with 9 mil. The boys were not able to catch them up despite having many more kills with 18, but the value was just there, and it was Spalkin who was carrying the team all the way.
Yeah, getting a lot of value out on the extract in Group C. It was No Game, No Life, your favorite name, I think, so far in this tournament. And of course, topping their tables with 11.5 mil in value and getting a pretty even spread, although a lot of heavy lifting done on the kills there at the top of the table.
Yeah, there was the team that we had a funny standoff with Desmolans over on Space City, which I'm sure you'll remember if you were tuning into the semi-finals. It's Group D. It was Pari to take first place with 9 mil in the pocket. Bunny Reapers were on the chase. Unfortunately, they were not able to take down Pari. They extracted with 2 mil, and it was right down to the wire. They actually accidentally only extracted 1 player out, and they were on the run to take them down in those final moments. So maybe a different story if they had 3 players. And in Group E, we didn't get to see too much of this at all, but it was RAF Squad with 15 mil. I think this is the most dominant team we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's the highest value of any team across all of it. As you see our overall standings, they are sat right on that pinnacle. It was a fairly even spread on all of their players in terms of value, in terms of kills as well, which means that for me, I'm going to be looking at Wrath Squad today and seeing what they can achieve. Although it's not quite as much as 18 kills found on Maybe Pro. They were a little bit more stuck into the action. But either way, it is going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. As it turned out, it was just our top 5 teams who were the teams to go through. There was no team that was a second place in one group that would have placed first with the same value in another group. It was just the top, the cream of the crop to make their way on through to see our finals.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested because I think for RAF Squad, they had a real blazing run out over in Group E, which seemed to be the most difficult group, I would say. I think they had the most reasonable extraction value across every single team that played within there. But for Maybe Pro, I think that they're a little bit of a dark horse here. I think they might be coming through unexpected, considering that they didn't get really that much value at all extracted on their first map. To have such a massive comeback was really big. Let's take a look at our grand finalists who will be joining us today here for Operations.
And here you've got all of our qualifiers being joined by our invited team as well. You can see them down on the bottom right. That is CYQOP. Nox and Chow will be taking up the mantle of that 6th team that all of these players are going to be facing off against. So 5 qualified teams, 1 invited squad. Are they going to show all of these qualifiers up, or is it going to be the other way around? Are they going to be taken down into the dirt?
Yeah, it's the real question. I mean, we did get to see a lot of these squads coming in. Spolkin was very fantastic for the Cucarachas. No Game, No Life for Fiji, obviously leading the charge there. Goes was a phenomenal member on maybe pro, considering the amount of kills they were to bring up, despite having a rough start to themselves. Was fantastic. Pari as well, also another good team. We didn't get to see too much out of them, but from the values and the kills they got through from their other matches, we can assume that they did fairly well out of it. But yeah, it's been really good watching these operations and seeing like the different strategies these teams have been pulling out. I mean, we've seen double Luna quite a lot as well for the recon arrow, and just the lightning arrow as well being extremely strong in terms of area denial. And not only that, just the nade's been insane. Let's take a look at the schedule for today and which maps we'll be playing.
We have 4 matches to play today. It will be Space City, Rakesh alternating, and all of our teams will be playing in all of these matches. So we'll get to see a little bit of a development on the strategy front, which is going to be nice to see how those dynamics change depending on where these teams end up spawning, and based on how they find each other in each of these situations, which will be interesting to see. I think especially on Rakesh, right, it will be interesting to see how that rotational style develops, and if that north side's ever going to be contested for longer than half the match before teams just decide, you know what, let's go new tower Babel.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it is just a case of the spawn system, right, at the end of the day, in terms of where you're forced to go, because a lot of times you don't have that time to move over towards the north side of the map, because Rakesh is quite big in comparison to Space City, where everything is a little bit more consolidated towards that central side of things, where you do need to enter a lot of those buildings, even just to call down the helicopter extract or get started on the rocket extract as well. But let's take a look at an interview right now with some of our teams and see what they're thinking about going forward.
Name is Ilya, nickname Kyborg, and our team name is Maybe Pro. I think I'm always locked in when playing tournaments. When we played the Open qualifiers and these custom qualifiers, I actually had fun, and I had a competitive mindset to just be the best and get the first place at any cost.
My name is Victor. I go by USBishka in-game, and my team is Rod Squad. We actually heard about this game like half a year ago. We played alpha test, beta test, and we were waiting for global release. And one of our team members is my little brother.
Louder, volume turned all the way up, but Nate's try and connect. That's a lot of damage. Wow.
My name is Igor, my nickname is Starbuxer, and my team name is Pari. When the Delta Force came out, we thought that it is a fun game to chill in it, or maybe even try something, and we started to play a lot with Stick and Sun. Then when the tournament came out, we thought why not to try it, and let's maybe try hard a bit more in it. So we started to put in it hours, and here we are.
George the Tyrannosaurus Rex as the boys make their way down. Push on through for the leads. Good spray from the hip.
About this tournament, yeah, we play it seriously. We don't laugh. We actually want to concentrate on the game and to win. So in this tournament, there was no fun and nothing like that. Only info and all like important stuff.
It's hard to make fun of it because you are thinking about a lot and you are becoming serious about it. But when you win one fight, two fight, or maybe it's become second map, third map, you gain more confidence and you start having fun because you understand that you are in a big tournament, you are having fun, you are doing good. So just chill and do what you can, do what you need.
I think our team is better than other teams at the moment because we focused in this period of in this week in our games, we focused more on being a good team players. We don't have the solo players, we don't have the clutcher or only one important player.
I think that in this tournament we won not by the gunpowder, because we are not adapting too much to it, to the gameplay in the tournament, but because our brains, of the calls and communication in the team.
You have to be best. You have to always learn. You can't stop. And especially if we think about Delta Force, you have to shoot very good.
Is this just going to be...
He's got his teammate. Oh, he's got the spray. Immediate re-knock, but can he get his wits together? Jumps up and over. Oh my goodness me. This man's he's flying around corners like he's definitely sorted him. Oh, he's seen him. They need to play it down. They know where the last player is. Immediately the rollout. They need to back it up. Surely go next. Is there in the smoke. Tries to step forwards. So much danger. And 7 AM may have just thrown it all away. 4 million in value in RNG.
What is winning meaning for me in this tournament and for my team? I think just to have a good start in this game, because I have an idea about this game that it would be huge.
Winning this tournament, for me it would be like kind of a dream, I guess. So I want just to show that I can do something and maybe improve in this game or even more.
This game is very fun to play, and competitive is like mwah in Italian.
Stickinson, we are coming for you.
Lovely to hear from those guys. They certainly have that positive mental attitude coming into this one. You could see how much they're enjoying it, taking on the challenges that competitive game modes present, and really having fun getting to grips with the operations here in Delta Force.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of players are having it out there for Stickinson over on Pari, really wanting to take him to task, it seems. I respect it. I like some grudge matches here and there. I do. But overall, it seems like the players are all enjoying themselves, looking to take home that trophy, that title of the grand finalists here in Delta Force Operations. But there is some stiff competition, absolutely, going ahead here. I think maybe Pro, I would agree with them. I think that teams definitely take that team very, very seriously in terms of what they were able to bring out. They had very tactical gameplay. They got slightly unlucky with 7 AM, but again, very hard to predict that maneuver that 7 AM made. They wrapped all the way around the side of the map, so they were very much hidden by the time the Maybe Pro went for that escape through the tunnels. Should be a really good set of matches here for us today. We are watching all 4 on Space City and Brikesh, and it looks like Maybe Pro maybe have some sort of a tactic to bring out on the first one.
We'll have to wait and see just what they're able to dish out. I think the first game is going to be starting very soon. And as you were saying before, I think what's going to be interesting is seeing those operator choices. You highlighted before the double Luna, see if that changes. I mean, we generally just see the Stinger being brought in with that as well, as a really solid smoke area denial control kind of character. Then you've got the Toxic as well with that UAV swarm that just bursts forwards, does a lot of suppression, does a lot to gain momentum on those pushes. So we'll see what these teams are going to be jumping in with, because we are going to be jumping in right alongside them as the match has kicked off.
So straight into it. So we're starting with the Tactical Command Center over on this side, straight through across on the zip lines. Maybe Pro currently holding up on the balcony. They spot the players. This is a difficult location to get yourself out from, especially if you don't have a sniper on board to deal with these players up on high.
Ooh. Nasty stuff. You can see that recon arrow. I mean, they know exactly which pieces of cover they're going to be playing behind if they've already used a lot of those smokes. And that, to be honest, the Havoc soldiers as well are going to be a little bit of a factor here. Could potentially make these pieces of cover a little bit less tenable. Big arc on the nade there. Let's see if the arm's going to make it reach. I think that was a little bit off target there. I wouldn't be too surprised if that was very short. You can see the shock dart being used in response, and really well handled to be able to get back out of the cover. The question is, how much time have they invested here? As another nade goes up on high, launched forwards. But again, yeah, just nowhere near enough distance on that one.
Yeah, it's an ambitious move. It's definitely an ambitious move with that nade, but you see what you can get done. Maybe you can optimize on that in the future. Right now, we've got the Cucarachas towards the center with Spolken, Pulamet. Spolken doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And this is more of a even spread in terms of the players that we're definitely seeing here.
Certainly is. Our invited team as well over towards the test range. So the 2 teams in the middle trying to get that hefty amount of value that sits in that central area, in that central complex. On the east side, those 2 teams are going to be standing off around an area that has been very profitable for teams that have been able to loot it for a while. So we'll have to wait and see if that trend continues. No game, no life, fully isolated in that northwest quadrant.
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of loot to be had around the dormitory building. It's not as plentiful as, say, Buoyancy Lab or Centrifuge Facility in that central area, but you can definitely get a lot done there. But I do think that No Game, No Life looking to move a little bit further across. Maybe Pro will have to be careful about these players moving through.
I think Cucarachas currently just clearing out some of the AI up on that corridor on the top level there. Trying to move through, gain some control. Potentially going to be contested. The name of the game here in operations, if you're unfamiliar, guys, is to drop in with a set loadout and then try and loot as much as you can. You can see that's what's going on Kyborg's screen right now. He's searching through some of those cases, some of those briefcases to try and take them down. You can also get loot from these Havoc soldiers, the machine gunner as well. Should be one of the ones they're going for. Bringing out the daggers. And stabbing them right in the front, not the back this time around. But getting out of the game with as much value from the loot that you find is what you can secure, and that is how you earn your way up the leaderboards to try and take that top spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good spot from Cucarachas as well, just because they have a lot of oversight on the facility up on the bridge there. Pari currently looting themselves up in the meantime. They are quite close to over towards US Bishka. There's his squad. Here's Pari, though. Stickinson, who has definitely been very much a focal point for a lot of these teams.
Certainly has been. The shield bearer around the corner. Need to find the windows, but no. Brings out the knife again. Don't want to waste the ammo. It's a valuable resource, or it can be, especially when you're getting up towards purple, towards gold ammo as well. You don't want to be just throwing that down range willy-nilly. You need to be a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, I mean, for every little bit of ammo you're expending, it's basically extraction value. So I like the way that Cucarachas is going about this. Using the flash drone from Hat Claw just to completely disable the enemies, and then going in with a dagger. Not only that, is that you're revealing your position a lot less too. Giving enemy teams the whereabouts of your spot just off sound alone. Teams are getting pretty scarily close to one another now, though, with No Game, No Life. Cucarachas, now maybe Pro making their way in alongside with Chibrax.
Yeah, the invited team still playing on that northeast side. Very content to roam around the edges of the map here and sweep on through. At the moment, only on 140k of value, though, up to 1.1 mil on the flip side of that. It does need to be a little bit close on the gap. That's No Game, No Life, by the way, on the 1.1 mil. That northwest side being alone allowed them to get quite a lot of value out of their position. So for the time being, it is playing catch-up towards them, but there's a lot more value to be gained on this map. There is a lot more opportunity to gather up all that juicy loot.
Yeah, there absolutely is. No Game, No Life has been maybe not the most spectacular team in terms of those showdown moments, but in terms of looting, they've definitely got it down to pat. They know which routes they'd like to take that keeps them fairly safe, whilst also ensuring the most amount of loot possible. We're on side with Pari once again. You can see a lot of our teams now making their way over towards that center position of the map around CEO. And maybe Pro actually taking a little bit more of a passive approach, angling themselves off towards the edge of the arena.
Yeah, content to try and get around and maybe move in. I mean, this is where they got caught, right? Their approach towards the extraction zone on the helicopter before is where they took a heavy, heavy beating in some of the earlier matches that we saw from them on Thursday. So perhaps a more major investment in moving there early. We've still got 23 minutes left on this map, so a very, very swift rotate down towards this area. But what that can afford them is the ability to catch teams on their route out. On their egress, they could potentially be able to find a little bit more value from pilfering from other teams' supplies, from other teams' value that they've been looking for. Shooting out the legs. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, taking the kneecaps out. Nice and easy. That's a quick vest. I mean, they came into this game with just blue gear as well. So for No Game, No Life, quick reset. They're also getting value off the back of that as well by getting the upgrades. So pretty smart, actually. where they're going. They are definitely weaker earlier on, but if they can get loot off this AI in Space City, why not? Though the vest and the helmet did take a heavy beating from that NPC just there.
Yeah, you can't be missing shots like that. That is unfortunate stuff for time, and the value of the vest and the helmet as well. Gonna need to invest if you want to fix it up. It can have a pretty hefty price if you're not careful, and it will start to drain the resources. But over in the middle of it all, oh, a long search there. Nice, picking up the medallions there. Not too hefty a value, but still, everything helps, and that is going to be No Game No Life, almost up to 2 mil now.
Yeah, doing very well. Again, this is what No Game No Life has done throughout the majority of their maps, which is just making sure that they get themselves that loot on board. And whilst everyone else is trying to watch out for other teams, being very cautious, No Game No Life, they scout out position, and they just grab all the loot they can get from it. Arrow goes over the top there. I think that might have spotted out over towards maybe Pro, actually. May have revealed their location, but we'll wait and see, depending on how Cucarachas play this one out going forward.
Absolutely. When you are looting through these things, the longer it takes for that little magnifying glass to spin around the middle, the higher the value the loot is, generally, when it reveals itself. That's so. If you see it hanging, you know you're onto something juicy. We'll see just how juicy the loot can be as time goes on. Teams are biding their time. They're more investing in trying to control an area of the map, trying to spot where the enemy is, getting a little bit more of a foothold within things. And in the meantime, the main profiteers of this have been No Game No Life, as we've talked about them rotating in from that northwest side. Pari now happy to sit on the northern edge, but not really near too many extraction routes. However, they do have great oversight towards the central concourse that sits between all these central buildings.
Yeah, and again, we're getting into grand finals now. There's a lot of money on the line, so I can imagine teams are feeling a little bit more worried about making too bold of a maneuver just in case they lose out on that extraction value. And this is where the pressure can definitely come into play. There's the first not going down. Fantastic stuff from Time.
Sits him on a timeout there. Will need the res. Should be fast on the res, but this might be the first fight of these finals as No Game No Life going to move on up, put pressure on. And this is our invited team, remember. They're picking it out. They're going forwards. They're trying to move on in. Maybe a little bit of scouting getting done. The healing needs to come through here to try and keep your teammates safe. You can't be first on it. Taking down the AI on the process. They're playing all of their angles well, and an excellent re-knock from Pika. Gets the job done almost entirely. That is going to be so much slower on the res. They turn the corner uncontested. Pika's up on the high ground, the backstab, and there's only one player left standing here. Oh dear, oh dear. No Game No Life. They might have a little bit to deal with, though, as the drop down's there. Finally getting retribution. We'll be able to get their teammate back up, and No Game No Life. Max value, taking down our invited team.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. The question is, how quickly are the teams going to be able to recover from this one and start to move their way in? Because I think there are a few teams around this location. So loot quickly, loot fast, get yourself fixed up where you can. They do have a precision vest repair in the inventory here for Pika. They should be able to fix that vest right up.
One of the best ways to gain ground on the tables is to stop other teams gaining ground on the tables, and that is exactly how you do it. You take them out, you cut their game short, and ensure that they extract with 0 value going down this early. Brilliant stuff, but you can see the cost of that, right? And as you were saying, you're going to need to invest some repairs here. Time's now defensive capability almost entirely diminished with 0 durability left on the helmet and the vest, so definitely need to invest some there if they want to keep themselves safe. But on the flip side, they're up to 3.7 million in value.
Yeah, which is awesome. Honestly, very, very well done. Even if they invest a little bit here and there, they're still going to be leaving this map, if they do extract, that is, with a hefty sum. Start things off with. On board with Pari, looking off over towards RAF squad. US Bishka. A distance. A nade goes through. No damage done, though, so Baxa can at least stay here uncontested. Oh, Stickinson, though. Bit of a side swipe on the hands, potentially over towards Gurku.
Either team willing to pull the trigger on the fight first. You do have to commend them for their for their caution, but do need to pick up the pace somewhat. We're down to 17.5 minutes now left, and you can see 57k, I think that's on the north side. He's looking for the info, a player close on his left flank. He's very worried by USBishka there behind, but may hear the footsteps of the player a little bit closer. Romza isolated from the rest of the team, so can't really afford too much. Oh, he's found him. Stickinson is there with the oversight, knows that there's a player close, doesn't want to engage at range, knows he's isolated, and then there is a player close by. Discipline not to take those shots just yet, but the intel is going to be invaluable for Pari.
Yeah, getting Hat Claw with that off. Spots Gurku, some early shots, and maybe should have waited slightly, but honestly, for Rap Squad, they've barely moved, and gets a couple of tags off almost immediately. Pari really doesn't respond all that much either. Was the data knife been sent out? Smokes down, and honestly for Rap Squad, this is a good maneuver from them. They smoke off the doorway and then immediately wrap back round towards Stickinson, but he's backing towards the building almost instantaneously. So we're back to a full reset. A little bit of a standoff here.
But again, it is just this low value situation. No game, no life. Poking their noses in and sent back. But they do continue to peak this one. Time certainly looking for more shots to line up. I don't think Pari are going to be able to put as much pressure over towards the other side of that zip line as they may have liked to, but that shouldn't matter. The other side of that bridge is going to be fairly easy for No Game No Life to manipulate their way through. And with 4 mil, you got to think that they're probably quite happy with that. When you consider that our highest scoring team on 4 matches was just around the 15 mil mark, you're looking at trying to push up a little bit higher than that maybe in that situation, but you'll be very happy with 4 mil to give you that building block to build the rest of your score on.
Yeah, honestly, for No Game No Life, I mean, extracting at this point wouldn't be a terrible idea. They've already got quite a bit in the pocket. It's really a difficulty of managing to get those extracts on board. Nade over the top. Little bit of damage done.
Not too much though, and neither team. I mean, you can't run over those pipes, right? It's just not going to happen. When you know there's another team on the other side, it's a death sentence to even think about going for it. To even think about considering it. Trying to line up those shots with a Hat Claw, but not really being giving any broadside.
Yeah, Fiji takes a little bit of damage, and they'll just back it off. Come the fire jets. The rocket extract should be open soon. Ooh. Goes on a good angle here.
Time is very much out in the open, but he's got his teammates on his back right flank, which means that if you peek from that high ground, you're going to get lit up. You're relying entirely on your ability to dish out more damage than they can send down towards you, and I think at the moment it's going to work. However, teams are going to start to move in towards these extract points.
Yeah, maybe Pro currently holding down over towards the rocket. I mean, No Game No Life really is the only valuable team at the moment. Underneath, maybe Pro, who I assume understand their location, right? Surely. Currently holding around helicopter extract. Player is dropping down. Kyborg.
And Ghoul and Goes, all of maybe Pro now descending, moving down a little bit lower onto No Game No Life's level. Pika, Time, and a Fiji. Just trying to hold under their cover, under the bridge. As maybe Pro are trying to skirt around the edge. They did have intel that they were all down there. They managed to get a lunar arrow out earlier to try and find that one. And in they go with a drone play, trying to move their way forwards. Dropping those nades around the corner. That looked like it inflicted a little bit of damage there. You can see the health bars started to look a little bit shaky. No Game No Life may have to invest here to repair their gear, try and get that health back up. Bounce on the arrow, isolating those corners, and that's the control we've seen from Lunas.
That's a good chunk. Pari, though, should have full broadside on time. This is rough stuff. Shortcut's a little bit hard to take, honestly. You can only really do it from dropping off from the top side. One player down, though. That's from maybe Pro, and No Game No Life starting to run away with this one. Molotov over the top there. They are surrounded. This is a horrid spot for them.
They can crawl back, and they are regrouping here. Pari on the north side. It's very likely that Pari have to deal with other teams on this approach as well. And you can see they're investing on moving to the same side as Maybe Pro. If they'd have kept to their own side, they would have been a lot more open on those alternate angles, but they want a little bit more control, a little bit more of a passive approach. No Game, No Life definitely penned in, but at the moment, no one can push them freely.
Maybe Pro looking over towards Pari, in fact. Still have 2 players holding this doorway. Another nade goes through. Not much damage done. A little bit far. There's some more shots. Yeah, No Game, No Life is in a real tricky spot.
A bit of a pickle, I think it's safe to say. But Pari and Maybe Pro are going to start to have to deal with each other. Another knock sent their way, and I think that's actually coming through across the way. Another knock over towards a Fiji, trying to get through. Pika maybe just about surviving on that cross. Maybe actually just trying to full-on evacuate, giving up the ghosts and trying to extract as much value as possible. As Ghoul moves forwards for Maybe Pro, and now they're under the bridge.
Yeah, down to just 1.5 mil right now on a Fiji. On Pika, Pari moves out, goes down. And again, for Maybe Pro, it's a little bit overzealous. There's a potential for Pika to maybe get some of these players back up on their feet over on No Game, No Life, but highly doubtful. Pika maybe pick up one of them and be good. And he goes.
Stepping in, Ghoul with the shoulder peek, shimmy, shake, and does have to back off. No damage inflicted in response, but you can see the armor for Pika very low. No helmet to speak of. That head will pop like a melon as soon as you send it around into the crosshairs of Maybe Pro. So you need to be careful. There is time, you're right, to get those reses, but you don't have a lot of time to work the ground in front of you.
That's all. Now Cucarachas watching this angle. Highly doubtful Pika's getting out of this situation with any of his teammates. All boils down to this, basically waiting for one another to get to these high impact areas of the map.
The difficulty of this situation as well is, sure, you've taken down No Game, No Life. There's a lot of value on those bodies, but you can't get to them. You can't loot those guys freely. It's just too difficult to get into the situation safely, to drop down and search through those bodies as well. It takes quite a while to unveil everything within their loadout, so you have to be a little bit more careful than that, and that might just be dead value out in the water.
Yeah, Bax is currently just watching a Fiji. He has to essentially hit this first shot to Pika and then pick up one of his players and get back into the building, but yeah, that is real rough stuff.
Baxter backs off. Rotates around. Pika can control the ground. He is looking to go for these reses. I mean, pops out. A little bit of sonic suppression there, but it stops short in the door frame. Oh, okay. Excellent use of the fire there. And down to one. Burns out.
Down.
What a response there with the Molotov.
Yeah, it was a clean hit as well. So, No Game, No Life. They go out. First game. Absolutely nothing to be found. Sadly. Now down to the other teams here. Pari still up, Maybe Pro as well. But the overall result from a lot of these squads has been pretty lacking, in my opinion. 700k, 300k, 200k. It's likely going to come down to just a couple of teams extracting with very little value. I think the bodies there coming through No Game, No Life is where a lot of that money's going to come from.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's just sort of 4 mil sitting around in no man's land right now. And I think it is Pari who have major control over that run out from underneath the bridge. You can see just behind that bus is where No Game, No Life went down, underneath that bridge area. So there's 3 bodies there with 4 mil split between them to pick up on the route in. The question is, when do you go for it? Can you go for it? Getting lit up on the sidelines, trying to lay an ambush, but it's not going to work because there is an immediate response coming on through.
Yeah, that's rough. That's very rough indeed. Down to just one player now. off in the distance. Kyborg down to 2 HP, immediately gets hit by the syringe, and very much required in that situation. Raf squad, though they're low on cash, definitely not low on firepower here.
Pushing forwards, looks for the staircase. One goes down, very exposed up on the railings there. That's a teammate, Kyborg. Don't worry about that. You've got more fish to fry, and they are just around the corner. They back off, and losing a player, it's gonna be pretty nasty. But you're right, Blank. Just the value isn't there. And this might be the time to just go for it. You aren't maybe aware as a team that other teams don't have this value either, but you can almost, if teams are only extracting with this amount of value, not throw this game away, but certainly have a little bit more freedom.
Cucarachas is going to back this one off. Alex Q going to get themselves one player back up on their feet at least. Maybe Pro tagged around that corner. And other teams should be watching over towards this.
They peek out broadside. And in they go. The smoke is there to try and back them off, but the healing hasn't come through just yet. Finally starting to top itself up. A nice little boon there. And there is a response as they set up again around the corners. Taking the helmet clean off. Maybe a response. Is this an overinvestment from US Bishka? Moving towards those backlines. Goes fairly low behind the crates there. With their teammate down, it is 2 players on the push against Cucarachas.
Yeah, Alex Q throwing those nades in, trying to find some value where he can. Whilst also desperately getting themselves surgical kitted up. Take away some of those debuffs, but some more shots. This is horrendous for Cucarachas. They get themselves into a tight spot. What a spray down from Bissell Wagner. A double spray through the smoke. Easy peasy, just like that.
That was a nasty little lineup, and that might mean that they can get the res onto their teammate. You could see the Bissell Wagner moving up now towards where his team was playing. In the meantime, maybe Pro, I think they've lost 1 player underneath the bridge, but they've got a little bit of value now up towards that 2 mil mark. They're able to get on towards the bodies that No Game No Life were holding down for a while.
Yeah, for No Game No Life, that was kind of the biggest thing for all the squads. It's just a case of trying to hunt those guys down, do not much else. Honestly, I don't think the extract has been called for yet either. In terms of the helicopter.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Finally, someone pulls it. I just had to say it.
I know. But we're into the final 5 minutes. Maybe Pro. It feels like Baxter knows there's a player out here somewhere. Just waiting for that peak to come through. Just the edge of that scope as well. Just covering off the angle that Ghoul's going to be peeking from. If he's not watching the right angle there, so Baxter needs to be careful.
Pari, maybe Ghoul, maybe Pro, sorry. Hold on to the same position, go for the same thing. Are you going to smoke the hell out of the extraction point? Attempt to go for a double team extract.
On the cross. Looks for the healing to come through, and Ghoul tops himself up as well. 2 players alive with 2 mil between them. No helmet for Ghoul. Now playing it slow, but they've got to get towards that extract point, because time is going to start to run a lot faster than you might think. It looks like it's 4 minutes, but it's probably nearer to 20 seconds in terms of how it feels.
Yeah, with teams now having to think about how are they going to extract here? How are they going to figure out their route through, because they have to make a move, and a lot of times that is the struggle for a lot of our squads, is making that first move, because a lot of times that can be the disastrous turning point for yourself if you're the one to engage the fight. But also a lot of times this is a necessary procedure to be able to get that extract going.
With 3 teams playing in the area, there is going to be competition. No one's gone for the rocket down on that launch area. It is between the helicopter and the test track extract. And a spray down from Ghoul to try and keep their 2 players safe. That is the opener. And now pressure being put on. Maybe Pro in danger. He's running away through the smoke line. Getting some healing involved as well. Pari trying to move them off of that test track extract. And the spray down for Baxter to see them off. But this is dangerous now. Maybe Pro have a lot to worry about. Not quite reaching the distance, but does get the info on how far they've pushed back up. And Pari may try and encircle this one, but they've only got 183k. And I feel like it might be the time to just go for it. Send out, take down another team instead.
It's such a weird game with the way this has progressed. And again, this is how Space City, the majority of times here on Operations, has dropped down to, is just everyone fighting over a helicopter extract in these final moments of the game.
Two minutes left now, as maybe Pro trying to play into these tunnels. A lot of value found from a couple of these teams in just the closing moments. We've got 2 mil, we've got 2.5 mil. It's a little bit heftier than maybe they were counting on. Maybe Pro underneath the bridge have to go for the run out for that extract point. And with 1 minute 50 now, it's getting dicey. Pari did move into position. They know they're on a low value extract if they don't go for it. So why not? Let's go in towards maybe Pro.
Smokes out. Paddy, up close and personal. Maybe Pro. Kyborg on a prone here. Baxter might be walking into a tricky scenario. Spots one. Good cross actually exposes them quite a bit, and they still have Romza behind here.
So a lot of pressure, and he turns the corner, takes one player down from maybe Pro, and there's no way that Kyborg can go for this res. Romza's there for the run out as well, catches them in the net. Kyborg now position known, with only a minute left on the clock. He needs to just try and get out of there, with only 1.1 mil now in the back pocket. Trying to find anything, trying to find a way through. I don't know if he's going to find an extract at all, but he's running for the test track.
Against the fact that just a little bit of money will do. It's fair enough. 48 seconds. Players are looking to leave. Pari, RAF squad, both looking at the same point.
Oh, that Hat Claw scan, so invaluable to know that there's no danger close by to try and get that extract. But now, the big fight here, are they just going to go in at the last second to try and get that extract with all the value possible into the smokes? Or is one of these two teams going to take down the other? There's an opening pick, and that's a really good start to try and hold out the approach coming through from Pari. Two players now left standing on the off angle. Baxter trying to light him up and does tickle. Takes a lot of damage, no armor now. Left in the back pocket. And Pari, 2 players left standing, 3 seconds left. Get to the extraction point. Time's running out.
Time is absolutely running out, and there it goes. I think, actually, the team that got the most out of that game might have been maybe Pro, with Kyborg getting the paid extract. It might have been a very low amount of money that he got out with, but technically in first place, I'd imagine. Take a look at the stats.
Take a look at what happened in that those last few seconds. Who was able to get out of there with the maximum value? We start on the back page, which means that No Game, No Life did go down. We saw them earlier. Invited team as well as the Cucarachas. Nobody escaping from our first match, which means that they get 0 value. But when we flick over to the front page, we'll see just where the top end of things ended up.
And it was maybe Pro. Like I said, 801k. Kyborg with the paid extract. And I think this is the thing, is that you can't really rely only on the helicopter extract. You've got to use every single source available to yourselves, including the rocket, including the paid extract. It's not all just about the helicopter, because everyone had the exact same idea. And at this point in time where you're playing against the best of the best, sometimes you have to play for a little bit of diminished results, but you're still going to come out in first place. So well played to maybe Pro and Kyborg to make that tough decision.
We talk about it all the time, right? Raising the floor of your performances, even if you aren't always hitting that ceiling, is often a lot more valuable. Only one team seemed to learn that lesson this time around, and we're basically going in completely raw into these next 3 matches. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll see you guys after the break. Make sure you come back for more looting and scooting. Welcome back to the Delta Force Community Tournament for Europe. My name is John Allen, and with me still is Blank. I can't get rid of him, and neither can you, because we are getting locked and loaded, ready for match number 2. A little bit of disappointment, I think it's safe to say, from that first match. It felt like teams weren't paying attention to the clock there, and they were over-investing in going for that helicopter extract.
That has worked out quite well for a lot of other teams in the past, but unfortunately what you have a case of here is that teams are struggling with the new level of gameplay, where they're not just going to let you steal off of the helicopter extract and move in, get a couple of smokes down. There is 3 to 4 teams living until the end here instead of just one. I think maybe Pro do make that really good decision of just like, with the way that it's going right now, with how all these other teams are just locking down helicopter, well, let's just go for the paid extract. We're going to make less, sure, but we're likely to make more than anyone else, which they absolutely do, 801,000. So those extraction values are coming down a lot, but it's those minor little changes in terms of money made, which are going to make a big difference going forward.
Yeah, we're hitting them with that value per value metric, and at the moment, it is getting pretty valuable. A lot of value being found in every single fraction of that sentence, but either way, you're right. It's a winner of maybe Pro, but at what cost, right? It's kind of not really a win, but I wouldn't be too surprised for teams to look for those paid extracts. I mean, especially if you're playing as 3, right? You can carry very happily 4 mil across 2 players if you're able to get that loot on board. If you're able to isolate an area of the map, you can carry that and just sacrifice one of your players' loot. You're getting up with 4 mil every time. That's going to push you up over 4 matches towards 16 mil, right? Which is more than we saw any other team go for in any of these stages of the tournament. And especially now we're down to a 3-match set, getting consistent value is probably going to be really important. It's going to be interesting as well to see how that approach adapts to Rakesh, which is our next map that we're going to be seeing on the board.
Yeah, obviously you're going to lose a little bit of value from using that paid extract, but as long as you're making more than anyone else, who really cares at that point? I mean, we saw Pari on their final match over on the semifinals. Was it Pari? It was Bunny Reapers, in fact. Accidentally sent one of their players home, but they still game out with 2 mil, was it? So around about. So this thing is pretty free to do. It's fairly quick. I think teams need to stop thinking of it as a last resort and more of a case of a safety net type of dealio, especially towards the end games where you notice that, goodness me, no one's getting out of here alive on helicopter. Let's just go for that one. So again, a smart play from Kyborg. I would expect teams are going to start to move on to that a little bit more as well. And it is somewhat to do with the map as well, because there being only one significant extraction point. In a lot of your pub games, you likely see that practically all the teams go down fairly quickly, in which case one team can helicopter extract, the other team rocket extracts, and both are very happy to go home with that extraction value. But you're also trying to deny other teams those points as well now in this tournament, which makes for a very fun ordeal. We'll see how the meta develops over these next 3 matches.
I mean, if you're the team that, you get a 7 mil game or something ridiculous, right? All of a sudden, your gameplay approach may change quite significantly. You look for those high value positions where people are going to extract, and you force them into a standoff, like Pari did there with their low value that they had on board. They were like, right, you know what? We're just going to stop you guys getting anything.
Let's just have a reset. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like,
and again,
not?
800k is not that hard to catch up, and they'll be catching up to it right now as we head in towards our second map of the day here on Rakesh.
There we go. We've seen a couple of times now that north side, if left uncontested on Rakesh, is a massive money maker. So we'll see if teams are going to be left alone this time around as well, or if teams are going to pick up on that. And look at that, Pari up on that north side. A really good start for them. If they are able to keep this one on lockdown, it should be nice. But I think the fact that maybe Pro are also fairly north on their spawn should put a spanner in the works there.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams, if they were watching back those VODs, they'll understand they can't let Pari just free loot on the north side. And even if it was a case that they got the random spot down towards the south, I still think teams will be more than happy to go for some fights on that north side of the map. ChillGuys heading further down towards the south here. There is only 2 teams over towards the Tower of Babel, which has a ton of lovely loot on board with no game, no life, as well as the Cucarachas.
Yeah, Cucarachas currently trying to get in on the forecourt. No game, no life, wasting no time. Picking through and plundering, pilfering their way to a higher value to kick things off. Ooh, little gold lighter there. Nice little pickup to be found to start padding those numbers. No game, no life. I've spotted one of the Cucarachas. Okay, they've already managed to get one down. Now, with the assistance of the Havoc soldiers as well, giving them that flank guard on the forecourt, it's going to make Cucarachas' approach to this one fairly difficult. Those smokes starting to get dropped down. They want to get this fast res. If they bleed out in that crawling state, it is so much more terminal to their position. But a lovely flank out wide from Alfiji, and now one more player left. First knock goes all the way through. That's going to make it so much longer on the res, but Smolkin's just trying to survive. As he turns the corner, goes the spray, doesn't connect fully there, doesn't manage to get everything that he wanted to done. I will not be able to survive. A lovely rollout from No Game, No Life. Uncontested on the south side. I wonder if anyone's going to join him.
Yeah, easy. And I mean, for Tower of Babel, it's such a maddening amount of loot in that area. For No Game, No Life, what a start for them. Immediately taking down the guys over on Cucarachas. Spolkin doing a great job, at least 1v3, but not much more to be had there. Very well played, playing off one another too. You saw that Time was able to get a really fantastic off angle of a Fiji, basically having a lot of that information fed back over towards his way instead. So good baiting from him too. Now we'll wait to see if any other team heads down here. If they don't, No Game, No Life is onto a massive winner. They're one of the few teams to get massive value off that last game, so we know they can certainly loot, but can they scoop this time around?
There's two parts to that phrase, right? That is what it's all about. And they have managed to get up to 1.8 mil. They've been here before. They haven't really looted pretty much any of new Tower of Babel. So they are going to have a lot more left in the pocket. A couple of soldiers from Havoc. Going to give them a little bit of a contest. And are we going to see this thing go topsy-turvy, Blank? Are we going to see teams heavily contest the north side and leave the south side completely open? I mean, it could happen.
Yeah, easily as well. And I think for guys on No Game, No Life, they'll be very pleased by that factor. They'll pretty much pick themselves up a huge amount of loot overall and then extract down on this south side as well. If that's the case, No Game, No Life could be running away with this game with a huge amount of loot. Here's a quick replay. All broke down between No Game, No Life and Cucarachas, with LXQ getting decimated almost immediately.
A one-tap headshot, I think, from Time, and then Alfiji's breakout to the side here was really what sealed the deal, right? This is able to pick up 2 of these kills on the flip side. A really, really nice coordinated approach to that fight. There was really nothing that the Cucarachas had to say about it.
Yeah, I think the Cucarachas, it is somewhat unfortunate. They have definitely come out into these matches looking somewhat the weakest so far. Anything can change, though, but with 2 games down out of the way and only 2 left remaining to make up that scoreline, it's a little tough. That being said, not many teams have found any value at all so far. So this is basically match 1, barring maybe Pro's 800k in the back pocket.
Yeah, and that could be a little bit of a tiebreaker, but nothing more really when it comes to it. We saw a range of about 9 mil to 15 mil on 4 matches being played, and so you're talking about a 10% difference, really, less than that, actually, as it comes to it from that first match. But now we've only got 3 matches left to play. I guess that goes up when you start to break it all down.
I don't think any of these teams are getting anywhere close to 15 mil, by the way.
No, not anymore. It would be highly unlikely.
I think that we're going to be looking in the region of probably 5 to 6 mil at the end of this as the winning team. Maybe even lower, but we'll see.
You think 5 to 6 mil?
Yeah.
I think you might be under a little bit, but I think you're right to say it would be diminished from the group stages, from the semifinals.
Well, I think it's just a case of a lot of these teams are so good, they're just not allowing these extraction points to go freely. And in a lot of the matches we watched in the semifinals, it was realistically 1 or 2 teams left remaining, but we're seeing a lot more now, 4 teams up towards those final 4 minutes, which makes it very hard to extract of anything at all. And being locked down like this for such a long period of time. Again, No Game, No Life, really the only ones to streak out at the beginning here because they have free reign down towards that south side, offer a great wipe over towards Cucarachas.
At the moment, the standoff in the museum It's got 2 teams embroiled. Which means that, apart from No Game, No Life, there are 2 other teams who are still in with a chance. But these 2 teams very stagnant right now, waiting for this standoff to break. Pari was on that north side as well, so really not too much to worry about for No Game, No Life. And they've probably figured that out by now. And you can see their totals are starting to pump on up. We're up to 3-0 now on No Game, No Life. This is a really, really good chance for them to set up a foundation towards that 6-0 target that you're talking about. Ah, okay, they have a challenger. Maybe Pro has made their way down.
Let's see what Maybe Pro can get done. I mean, this is a smart choice from Maybe Pro as well, considering they started towards the north side of the map. And they must have heard a lot of infighting and assumed that realistically a lot of the teams must have been down over towards New Tower of Babel. The question is whether No Game, No Life understands that another team has made their way down here, because I think that with how things have gone so far, they assume that they've already got rid of all the adversaries that are in this position.
Maybe Pro checking the zip line up on the top of the elevator shaft here. And No Game, No Life. I mean, at some point they'll hear those footsteps, right? But they're getting a lot of value nonetheless. Some healing done, and the Royal Museum standoff continues.
There, knife thrown. A little bit of distortion, but not much more than that. It's always a difficult position to play now because both teams are on the upper floor, broadside over towards one another. That's a nice flash drone, actually. Should go straight through the window.
Yeah, managed to get them on the cross. We'll start to get that flash out. Difficult to do anything about as soon as it turns that corner. Info will be there that they're playing on that corridor, although they probably already knew that. Dropping the smoke cover behind them. That's our invited team. Currently in the purple, although that does change fairly frequently. Very low on value, though. They're only 82k. However, that is our current tournament leading score. So, you know what? Sure, let's go for it. That's great.
Is it? I thought it was 800k.
Was it? Oh, it may have been.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll take that back.
Yeah, they're about 10% of the current
Penny
leaders.
to a pound. Penny to a pound.
Yeah. And for ChiBrax right now, difficult position to be in. You can say that for both squads, actually, for RAF as well, because they're both going to be taking quite a while to find any kind of value here, because they are penned in against one another. And this is the thing, neither team wants to make that first move. Neither team wants to make that first assault. Very much wanting to hold on to as much value as possible here. But you're not finding anything at the moment at all. Sometimes you've got to make that initial maneuver to allow yourself a little bit more freedom. Even if it is just one knock.
And there they go. Forward push comes on through. For the invited squad, they turn the corner, trying to go 1-for-1. No knock found on the approach, and a little bit of ground gain. Dropping that data knife, stopping anyone pushing too far forwards, but Bielsol Wagner keeping that flank under cover, and no team has had a casualty just yet, but a lot of damage done both ways. And no, still no conclusion in the museum. Where are Pari? Are they going to try and third-party this?
I mean, mad respect here to ChiBrax, because absolutely they had to push them in, and for RAF squad, they're stuck inside one nasty little room. There is potential to jump out the window, but not so much anymore now that one player has been downed.
That flashbang coming on through. Psychop looking to turn the corner, opens the door and finds what he's looking for. 2 go through, an immediate response, and the flank comes in. The pincer's there, and ChiBrax able to seal the deal, finally breaking the standoff in the museum. They can start to loot through it now, what they haven't been able to do before. 20 minutes on the clock. Let's see how much value they can get.
Yeah, super necessary as well. And again, this is what you want to see. I think teams need to just do away with this mentality of, look, we cannot go down because we risk value. Or you risk value either way by doing nothing. Nice reset, though, on the head as well as the vest. So that's really good news there for ChiBrax in terms of a good upgrade.
Getting that value, all important. And all of the bodies being safe and secure as well, knowing that they don't have too much to worry about around them. It's good news. And you can see, picking up those ammo stacks, you could see how much that value increased, and increased quite quickly. Getting high value ammo is often one of the best ways to just find those solo slots, unless you get one of those rare pieces of loot. But either way, good news. You could see those value totals starting to add up. I wonder what's happening with Maybe Pro down in the south side as well. They pushed in towards No Game, No Life, but it feels like there may have been a standoff on that south side for a while now. I think both teams are aware of each other. 3.6 mil, 1.7. That's what you're looking at there between those two teams. So potential that they found each other and are just waiting for someone to make the move.
Pari on the outside, once again, waiting for other teams to do stuff. But this time around, they've been able to get themselves quite a bit of loot as well, which is nice to see here with 2 mil in the pocket now for them. With Maybe Pro leaving to go down towards New Tower of Babel, that did open up a lot of loot for them. No Game, No Life seem to have got themselves into a little bit of trouble now, whether that's through from NPCs or from Maybe Pro attempting to assault them. We just don't know yet.
Feels like maybe a little bit of an NPC tag on there for a Fiji. The Cucarachas are dead currently on that south side. We saw that engagement earlier. Their position's just marked on the minimap. As Maybe Pro continue to play around on the ground floor, but all of that has been picked through already. Ooh, a little legendary bit of loot there. 2.7 mil on a single player. I mean, that is going to be a really important piece to extract, and you probably just want to now invest everything into getting Psychop out alive.
Yeah, red loot. Rare, but will give yourself a nice chunk of value. You can definitely tell by the fact that they flew up by a massive margin. That's a good bit of luck for themselves there. Cracking the case now is No Game, No Life.
Waiting for the soldiers to turn the corner. The thermal lance doing its job. And getting their way on through. The alarm sounds. You need to get through all of these safes for it to turn off, but people know where this team is, and they're going to be aware that this is getting picked through. Sure, exact location, and Maybe Pro may use this bit of information to try and run through. So these safes start getting picked, start getting decoded.
Yeah, time to do some Morse code. Get that underway. But yeah, getting this shot off as soon as possible is ideal. Not really wanting to be going off forever. I mean, it's potential that you could just leave one on and bait teams in like that. But you do risk losing maybe some very good loot. Decisions. That's what the game's all about. But they will open the last and then loot from there. And we'll see just how much this shoots up by.
4.1 mil as the alarm does finally get deactivated. So we're up to 4.2 already. And I don't think he's even taken anything just yet. Organizing the loot, making sure you got the space for it. Figuring out what meds you want to take, what you want to drop off, trying to get that value per slot metric as high as possible. It's all an interesting little bit of Tetris, and it's a big part of the game. It's being able to fit that loot in efficiently in terms of value per slot.
Yeah, now for No Game, No Life, will they fall prey to what they did last time? Ziplines are being used from Maybe Pro.
Have they heard it?
Yeah, I imagine they should have done with the way they're angling.
Yeah. They're aware of it now. But No Game, No Life in a standoff with Maybe Pro. Down the corridor, but only 2 players from either squad going to be sat there. That's going to put a pause on the looting. 4.3 mil is where they sit right now for No Game, No Life. And watches for the flank. Spots the player approaching, and Time now has a threat from 2 sides. Back up on his back flank here. And Maybe Pro need to win this engagement to stop No Game, No Life, and more importantly, take their loot away. Drops the suppression into the corridor. Time is smoked off from his team, but he's going to allow them through. Maybe look for the backstab, holding the staircase. But there's that flank, and Kyborg makes his way through. Where is Time? He's just not quite there at the right spot, but finally gets that answer. Steps out for the spray down. A teammate down on the outside looks for those full flushes, making those reses almost impossible. Trying to keep this safe now, as he only has one player to deal with. It's Kyborg on the off angle. No game, no life. Have a third player up and in action, though. Where is he? Where is he playing around? I think maybe they've lost two. Looking for these reses, investing in the healing first. And Time is going to get his teammate back to his feet.
Yeah, one evac, actually. So there's only 2 players up right now. Door opens. Kyborg goes to the mad standoff. Won't find them. But yeah, no game, no life already sent out with some loot, which is a smart decision. Oh, dear me. And that is maybe pro down. Finally. And that should be pretty free now for no game, no life to leave. What a great standoff there. And yeah, sure, maybe Time could come out a little bit later, but I would say that they definitely had the element of surprise coming through from Time, waiting on that vending machine. His smokes as well, the timing on them was so fantastic, as Kyborg could really no longer not commit to that push.
Really well held for no game, no life. Playing that cheeky off angle. I thought Time might have just been a little bit slow on trying to go for that backstab with Kyborg taking down the Fiji, but they played off each other marvelously in a 2v3, no less as well. That's beautiful. That's what you want to see. Now, on the offside, we're looking at where everybody else is going to be playing as well. Pari is kind of the only wild card in all of this.
You do wonder whether it was an accidental evac, though, like we saw the other day with the Bunny Reapers. I can't imagine it would be, though, at this level. We're gonna... It seems like Chybrak's actually going to initiate the helicopter evac, I imagine, right now. Yep. Over towards that north side.
Yeah, activating all of those extraction points there. They've got that legendary piece of loot. They're not going to waste too much time just going for it. No game, no life. They're all the way up in the new Tower of Babel. 2.1 mil for Pari on the off angle as well. It's not a terrible game. And if consistent value is what you're looking for, that's how you do it. You're building your fortress brick by brick, and that's what they'll look for here. But with 6 mil almost achieved by no game, no life down on the south edge, this is going to be a nasty total to try and catch up towards.
Yeah, I think Brakesh is, although a very difficult map to play, it seems like the most valuable map in terms of taking those isolated engagements, where Space City really just crunch all of these teams together, making it very hard for a few teams to succeed. It's really only one team that gets out there with anything at the moment. Chybrak's cover the smoke, making their way across.
Very nice stuff. The teams that may come into contact are probably Chybrak's and Pari, right? Those are the teams you're going to be looking for. Dr. Prometheus looking to try and make things a little bit more tricky. We're very locked and loaded on the rollout, but biding the time for now.
Yeah, and there's a difficult mission. I don't think I've completed it yet to extract the Doctor. I don't think any of these players are thinking about extracting the Doctor right now. They're thinking more focused over towards getting out of this map with as much loot as possible.
Definitely. What they'll be looking for. Chybrak's moving up to the north side and playing as 3. Pari are lying in wait here. They've already extracted 1. Optimization on these looting situations here. On the south side for no game, no life in the meantime. A full tour of the loot there. 5.9 mil total, as they're just picking up what they want. They seem to have had it all. The AUG, complete with attachments as well in the backpack. Having quite a lot of value.
I gave me some vertigo for a second. Goodness me.
Don't worry, you're still sat down, you're still in your chair, it's okay.
I'm not falling to our deaths just yet. I think right now most teams are fairly happy with what they've been able to acquire, and now looking just to extract whatever's left. Especially with only 3 teams remaining, I think Brakesh does fairly comfortably allow few squads to get out. And with the extractions being made active so early as well, it's very, very nice. Every single one of these teams should be able to get out with a 2.1, 4.4, and 5.9.
The danger here, though, is that ChiLGuys are going to be running into a player from Pari. Now, they've already sent one of their players away. It looks like on board, there's about 400k on that player from Pari who's lying in wait, trying to backstab the extract. So not a huge investment, but still a decent chunk.
Yeah, Pari also sent one player home. Alongside with No Game, No Life for 7.2 million now. Real hefty sum off after one game.
Wait,
and
where does that extra
very likely they'll be going
now?
home. I think they've just been looting some extra boxes, which were left inside.
So when you said first place team's going to be under 6 mil.
Yeah. Well, I assumed that every single match would be a horrid standoff like Space City, with the strength of the players. But with No Game, No Life being able to easily take down 2 there.
Ooh.
Romza
in a 1v1. This is nasty stuff, and this is a quick res as well from Pari. A player forwards, and this is going to really hit the extraction value coming on through for ChiLGuys. They've managed to get the res onto the backlines. The forward player crawling back as well, but Romza's behind the stanchion, behind that blockade. They weren't expecting it. ChiLGuys not ready on the approach here. And they have paid the price for it. Backing off, there's still 7.5 minutes to play with. They don't need to overinvest just now. They've got a lot of time to play with.
Pari being dastardly here, holding teams out. But yeah, you're right. 7 minutes is a lot of time to work with going forward. Stickinson backed it off after dropping through the flash. Data dart sent in. I think that res should go through though. But ChiLGuys know that there is enemies on the horizon.
It makes the evacuation point very much unsafe, and now they're going to have to figure something else out. Romza charging them down. Goodness me. Going hell for leather towards the backlines here. All right. 450k in the pocket for him. So again, not a huge investment. They sent probably about $1 mil out already on their first extract. And now down the stairs, ChiLGuys have to go for the fight. 1 dealt with. 2nd goes for the peak, and it's traded off. But in comes the backup from the backlines. And these reses need to continue to come on through. The flash over the top to try and keep control of the situation. Stinger dropping on out, checking the flank angles. Stickinson, a target for a lot, but that's the drop on the nade. And that's going to make Romza unresable. In this scenario, it's a full 1v3 now.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to deal with. Pari thanking their lucky stars that they actually extracted 1 at least. And ChiLGuys will pick up an extra 1.7 off the back of that one. And be able to extract fairly comfortably. So these are our 2 teams that will be leaving this map with a good chunk of loot on board. And a lot there on the side of Pari. Not only that, they should be able to pick up the gear as well, which will be an extra boost to the economy. Now, No Game, No Life have a challenger.
Absolutely. I mean, that they won't be able to take the full 2 mil. I think it. Well, yeah, they extracted about $1 mil already out, maybe even close to that 1.7 mark out of the game already. Which for Pari, I mean, that's at least a start, right? So they won't get the full 2 mil there. However, you'll see those totals start to add up. With 5 minutes left on the clock, you do need to activate these fairly quickly. Make sure you got enough time to be getting on out of that. And there they go. The extraction point is active with 7.3 mil and already 1 extract going through. No Game, No Life in a very strong lead.
That was the chunky additional that they got there, which is the armored vehicle battery. 1.7. That's quite a hefty amount. Yeah, red loot across the board for a lot of our teams. And they should get out fairly comfortably too. No Game, No Life. Still just hunkering around, trying to find anything else that they can find here. While they do leave. But yeah, this is pretty much just a countdown until both these teams escape. So for Afiji, I don't really mind him continuing to loot. There's no trouble around. Why not?
7.3, just, you know, drop some of those meds, drop some of that ammo if there's some higher value scenario. Aware of the sniper, doesn't want to use the ammo. You can see there, just hitting that loot instead. And fading away. Don't want to get involved with these AI. Every bullet you shoot is a bit of value wasted as well. So that's why they're not going for these engagements.
So yeah, 7.3 million, 5 million. A very good sum for both these teams. Not where I thought it would end up, but there you go. And for No Game No Life, they did always show themselves to be a very good team when it came to actually looting and getting a massive game like this with a strong 7.3 million on board in game 2 is going to really help them going forward.
Definitely a great way to kick things off. I mean, another game like that, it's all but closed. The adaptation into this, Prakesh, is what we saw from a lot of these teams, right? They go up towards the north side. 3 teams competed on that north side, whereas before it was 5 teams in the tower, 1 team up north for a lot of the time. This time around, it is very much a split map, and 2 teams will be able to extract with big value. Just isolating these extraction points, making sure that they've got a route out.
Yeah. Again, we do hope that they extract. That would be ideal. We have seen it before on that first map. There's nothing stopping them. Oh my, they actually see them.
I think, did they expend that extract point on the north side already?
They've both gone for the same extract here. Oh, goodness me. Now it's getting hairy.
No. There's not a lot of time left in this match. I think they may have run down the clock on the northern extract. I think they might have to fight for this for extract.
Well, for No Game No Life, it would be 2 frustrating games in a row. Getting barely anything off of either, despite having such a massive value count.
And ChillGuys are chasing. No Game No Life on 7.3 mil. In a lot of danger here. They just need to hold out for the extract to come, and they're going to deny ChillGuys. The smoke train there, stopping that approach. You can't push through without a little bit of pressure. But now 1.5 minutes left on the clock. We saw the extract point activated with about, I think it was 5 minutes and 3 seconds left on the clock. So not a long time to try and work this approach.
ChillGuys heading all the way on the side. No Game No Life, maybe not so aware of this. Time will unleash the smoke towards the right-hand side. And them from getting in. Early nade, though, and it's the only one he has. 50 seconds left on it. Pretty perfectly positioned, though. Give him that.
ChillGuys putting pressure on. It is because of the early extract 2v3.
They're out.
For No Game No Life. ChillGuys pushing forwards, and they are out. But does that leave ChillGuys out in the wind, out in the cold? Are they going to be able to get out of this one? I'm not entirely sure.
Can't get out. I actually think they can't get out.
Have they wasted all of their chances? Pari up on the north side deny them, and No Game No Life on the south side deny them too. They're looking to try and get anything they can out of this game, but how do they make their way out?
It's paid extract time, but I don't think they're anywhere close to it. So, GG.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
I think No Game No Life might have just won for the whole tournament off that one match.
That's absolutely crazy. I mean, we'll see if they do end up getting out.
I don't think they can. I think it's done.
I think they know it as well.
Yeah. Good games.
Nothing in the sky there, mate.
GG's, GG's. Again, it's so frustrating.
It's unfortunate. They fought all the way through that museum, had a massive stand-up on the north edge with Pari as well. That is really, really nasty stuff. To run into a situation like that, I mean, they were just denied it every turn. And it's all back to Pari just playing that edge guard with low-value players.
Yeah, again, very upsetting, honestly, for a lot of our squads, because it has just ended up with a case of everyone holding one another out. Pari, I think, got some value off that game as they extracted a player earlier, but still, like, Come on, come on. You guys, you got to start playing the game. I mean, for No Game, No Life, respect to them. Massive respect to them. They had 2 really good fights down towards the Tower of Babel. I think they might have been absolutely panicking as soon as they started to see ChiBrax send down all the way from the north side. I think they thought they had themselves a free extract. But luckily, with a good amount of denial, good nade, even though nade didn't do too much damage, it stopped them from walking through almost immediately. Tough stuff, though. Tough stuff. But No Game, No Life, firmly now in the lead.
Yeah, that is going to be a massive hit to the earnings. It was close to a 5 mil game there coming through from ChiBrax, but it's such disappointment. And you're right, that could be just a game-winning situation for No Game, No Life. What was it, 7.4, 7.5 mil, something around that sort of ballpark for them, and they are going to be almost that full amount ahead of everybody else.
It was a chunky number. It was a real chunky number, and it will be hard to catch up going forward. 7 mil in one match is somewhat unheard of as well, really, from any of the other games that we've watched. I think 7 mil was higher in some cases than some of our groups were able to get over the total of 4 matches. Now it's up to No Game, No Life to continue that type of streak. For Maybe Pro, though, I think they have played fairly well so far. I've been enjoying what I've been seeing from Maybe Pro. They've been caught off a few times, and that fight in particular very difficult because Time baited his team hard in a 2v3. That is rough, but he was the first player to use the paid extract, get out 800k for his team, which at least puts them in the running. Second place, I think, maybe. Depends how much Pari was able to get out from that last match.
Yeah, I think they were able to get a decent chunk out because they had 2.1 mil at a point, and the other 2 players I think had maybe sort of 400k split between them. So they were leaving a little bit behind, but they did manage to evacuate quite a good chunk. And that is a really interesting way to play this game, right? You just you go low to middle amounts of loot. You're looking at basically a 1.5 mil a game, but then you just leave your other players in wait to just stop other teams from extracting, and that is a viable strategy to just keep churning away. Unfortunately, you do have those 7.5 mil games that come through to bite you in the bum.
Yeah, I know 4 matches, but the first match, basically no one got anything. You can pretty much put No Game, No Life right now on a 3.5 million average per game, which is a strong margin. They came out swinging into this tournament, which is super cool. I think we're going to have some highlights here on screen. This is that initial fight between Cucarachas as well as No Game, No Life, and they really definitely caught Cucarachas slacking.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate approach there, and Fiji massively instrumental in Time getting that opening pick. The roll up from the guys who failed to extract in the end from ChiBrax was a little bit hairy, I have to say. It could have gone either way, but I mean, this break through the door, this breach and clear was really solid. This one, not so much. Maybe Pro were able to go down into a 1v1, but in the end, Time was just running riot through that off-angle corridor and doing a lot of work there to keep his team alive, putting pressure on where he needed to. And they held the new Tower of Babel. They definitely earned their 7.5 mil after the game. They will be happy with all of the results they've been able to reward themselves with.
Again, Pari just holding teams out. And you might say that, you know, it's somewhat BM, but to be honest with you, for Pari, they'd already got 1 player out anyway, so they'd already made some money, so they just hold another player out. And effectively, they did prevent a team from getting 5 mil in the back pocket, which might allow them to get a second place. And there's still a lot of money on the line. So you can see here, ChiBrax left with nothing. Maybe Pro was 0 as well. Cucarachas also on 0, despite ChiBrax getting those 5 kills and having very dominant results over towards the Royal Museum. There you go, 1.2 million for Pari, which does put them in second place. Maybe Pro being in third, but No Game, No Life with 7.3 million.
That is insane. So a really great result coming through for No Game, No Life. They will be a firm first place with 2 matches left to play. We do have a little bit of an interview as well from Kyborg on Maybe Pro. This is the team that tried to contest down on the south side. Sorry?
With Goes, yeah. Slight change.
Oh, with Goes instead. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Hello, guys.
Okay, still with Maybe Pro though. Goes, you guys challenged down towards the Babel Tower on the south side, and you kind of didn't quite manage to win that engagement. Do you think that it was a different feeling to play in this lobby compared to back in the group stages?
Of course, it's much harder. I mean, it's not only top 1 going through, but it's still hard. There is money on the table, and I think we were a bit hesitant in the fight. That's why we lost. But we tried
Yeah,
the
for
best.
sure. No, you guys. I think you guys have been playing really well. I really enjoyed your semi-finals as well. In particular, just the fact that you had massive comeback in semi-finals. You earned so much. It was very impressive. I think in these games, it has definitely become a case with all the money on the line. So many teams are also having that same problem. They're all being very hesitant. I'm curious to see what you think about Space City coming up next, because I think you were one of the only teams to get any money out of Space City because you went for the paid extra.
Yeah, we were.
Do you think everyone's going? Yeah, go on.
We were kind of surprised that nobody made it out, because there was heli extraction going out, and there was 2 teams fighting each other, and I think the only reason they didn't make it out because they didn't have smokes, and that was the big issue. And we were kind of lucky that they let him get out no backpack.
Yeah, I was
So, yeah.
also surprised they let him get out. It just wandered straight round. Everyone didn't care because everyone was so focused on the helicopter. Do you think players are going to make any changes? I know you don't want to give away too many strats here, but you think you're going to see
Maybe
the same
it's-
thing here on Space City?
I just hope people gonna press the extraction earlier and they gonna be more confident what they're doing, because it felt like people were scared to pull the triggers on the extraction and move on and do more action. I don't know. The quals were like more fights in the quals than in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For sure.
I mean, you guys
And
were
Space-
a little bit further on the outside. Do you think it's more on the teams in the center in Space City to be going for that sort of play? Is that what you're looking for the paid extracts to? Oh, sorry, for the extracts to be pulled earlier by those teams.
Yeah, I hope they gonna do the heli extraction what they did, but much earlier, so people can fight and people can loot. So it's more action for the stream as well, and more action for us.
100%. Speaking of action, though, you had some unbelievable results in the semi-finals. Have you just been playing this game since Alpha? Because I think you are one of the clutch members there on Maybe Pro.
Yeah, I was playing a lot of hours in Alpha, of course.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
kind of play different game right now because there is 2 games going on. I don't want to mention it, but you know what I mean, probably.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
sure.
excited
But, I mean,
for the new season for Delta, of course.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely. I mean, it's
hopefully
going to be good fun when it comes out.
Yeah, hopefully there will be more tournaments like this. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's so good, and I appreciate you doing this.
Hey, we're appreciative of you guys putting your best foot forwards and taking a break from whatever else you're doing and jumping straight in. I mean, that's the idea, right? Is to get people together, have fun, and put a little bit of money on the line as well. Do you think that it's going to be possible to reach now what No Game No Life were able to get in that last game? I think it was almost 7.4 mil in that total. Do you think that that's an achievable goal?
It is achievable, but what I was surprised, we found 2 million item in the tower. We hid it in the bush and they found it. I don't know how they found it, but it's crazy.
Oh,
They were
is
like,
that what
yeah, I guess.
happened?
Yes, and we also thought of the no ID extract. I mean the ID extract, what they did, and we wanted to do it before them, but we were hesitant to push upstairs. I think we need to be more confident to do it.
All right, then, more confidence going forward. You got anything you'd like to say to your fans, friends, family at home?
Thank you for watching, and I hope you're enjoying this tournament. It's so good for us as well. We're having fun and enjoy.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, dude. That's Goes from Maybe Pro. Thank you so much for joining us from the interview. Catch you later.
Thank you,
And good luck
thank
in your
you.
games.
Thank you, thank you.
And he's going to have 2 more chances along with the rest of his team and the rest of this lobby to grab as much value as they can from these games, because it has been a little bit slim pickings for the majority of the lobby. Hopefully, everyone can keep up the pace. We're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, it will be another dose of Space City for you in our 3rd of 4 matches here in the Grand Finals. We'll see you soon.
Yesterday at 1500 hours, a convoy was attacked passing through Asara's eastern transport hub. Survivors confirmed the attack was perpetrated by the Asara Guard. This is the third attack this month. Residents and merchants in the area were already panicking. Hamka, one of the leaders of the Asara Guard, is our prime suspect. He operates east of Zaltiva and has been extremely active lately. We have reason to believe that he is trading stolen supplies with an unknown party in exchange for arms. You need to find out what he's planning. At dawn, recon drones sighted Hamka in a fishing village near Zaltiva. Get there, find and neutralize Hamka ASAP.
The village is unusually quiet today. Watch out. Don't fall prey to an ambush.
Take out the intruder! Artillery barrage! What the? Target down! Go for it!
Beware of hostile suicide vehicles.
For Hamka! Fire! Take them out! Something's wrong there!
This bridge is vital for transit. If the bridge is blown, we'll lose our reinforcements. Disarm those bombs, now!
Stop them! Go! Full throttle!
All bombs are disarmed. Good job.
Fire! Hold them back!
A Havoc heli? What's it doing in Asara Guard territory?
Our vehicle needs to be fixed! Losing! Over here! RPG! Taking damage! Fire! Fire! Grab them! Now!
And with 2 matches left to play, No Game, No Life streak out to a massive lead with a 7.3 mil extract. A really solid start, especially considering that the next highest competitor's what, in like 1.4 mil, something like that, is very much a great lead to be able to gather. We'll see if they can keep things going, because next up, we've got Space City to go again.
We were talking to Goes before, goodness me, about Space City in terms of how that was all broken down, how he wanted to see more helicopter extracts being sent out earlier, which is fair enough considering they were leaving it very, very late. You can see on the screens here are our breakdowns in terms of the standings, with 6 kills for RAF Squad, but 0 value found. 9 kills on No Game, No Life, though, with 7.3 mil. Hefty 6 mil ahead of Pari. Maybe Pro thinks that's achievable by the end of the day, or depends on No Game, No Life and how they play out these next coming matches.
A huge amount of value found on the extract. You can see the bulk of that on Pika. They sent him out first, left 2 players behind, Time and Fiji, and all of that denied almost 5. It was about almost 5.5 mil coming through from ChillGuys, which is unfortunate that they didn't get any value out of that last game. So the chase is on here with our standings set thusly. The gap right now sits at 6 mil between Pari and No Game, No Life, and that is a difficult extract to go for. For No Game, No Life, it's going to be a case of just get 2 mil a game from here on out, and you're good. You're fine. Nobody really is realistically going to be able to achieve that. If you're doing that, you're putting yourself up at 11 mil, and it would basically need everybody, someone else to go 2 for 2 on 6 mil extracts to be able to beat you, which is highly unlikely. So the more you can get for No Game, No Life, the safer you will be. Let's take a look at some of the kills that we've seen over the course of the tournament as well, with a Fiji from No Game, No Life actually topping those tables too on 5.
Yeah, he's doing really good work for the team overall, which is good to see. And again, consistent coming through from semi-finals. He was the kill leader there as well for his team. They saw Wagner just underneath with 4. So a lot of the players there coming through from RAF Squad were able to pick that one up. Good to see, though, overall for a Fiji and No Game, No Life. Definitely deserve to be on top. Like you say, they just need about 2 million per game now to pick that one up. We got top value coming up next, and I think you know exactly how this one's going to look with all the players from No Game, No Life on top, with Pika, Time, and a Fiji, with Starbaxer and Kyborg, both players to early extract, the ID extract and the paid extract here on Space City and Brakesh. But we are heading back to Space City, as you were saying, John.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be seeing if teams can actually go for that helicopter extract. We were hearing from maybe Pro earlier that they think that teams need to maybe get a little bit more aggressive in terms of activating that extract, getting that a little bit earlier. And I think that there's some merit to that as well, because not only does that mean that that extract gets activated earlier, it means that teams that don't make it can invest in going to other extracts, right? Instead of having this sort of 3-4 team standoff and eventually having to divert to those paid extracts. And he also highlighted a big thing is not having smokes to go for those late extracts as well. You need to have that cover if you want to break that standoff.
Yeah, I think that's a difficult thing right now, is the case of when you get down to it, when you leave it to the very last moment, no one's getting out because 3 teams there are just not going to be able to all extract at the same time. And he was also talking about the lack of smokes that are being brought to the table, which is a big thing. No Game, No Life have a heavy emphasis on their stinger on the team. Time, who has been able to drop some really good smokes, which has helped them out, and also supported them in those extracts too. So very, very important stuff. So if you don't have the smokes available and you're instead going for Molotovs, grenades, you are lacking that extract potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Something you need to think about, something to consider. The question is also, how long does that standoff in the central area last, right? When can you go and actually activate those extracts? Well, you need to have concluded that sort of a fight first to safely go and do that, which means that the longer teams stagnate in that central area, the longer teams have to wait to go for that. And I think that this time around, we're going to see teams go for that launch pad, go for that paid extract, maybe early as well, to try and just get out of there with whatever they can pilfer away, especially if you're a team like No Game, No Life, right? Getting out of there with lower value extracts, still excellent news.
Yeah. even if they just go for paid extracts going forward, like they're still going to be earning a lot of money off the back of that, and they can afford to do it. So I think for them, realistically, a paid extract on this next game on Space City, a good sum being placed on one player and extracted that way would be a really, really good idea, just because then they can take a look at the leaderboards after that point and be like, okay, do we need to give it our all on this last game, or can we just go for another chunky extract? Luckily for us, we do have the game ready here on Space City, so let's jump right into it.
Our third match of the day and the last of Space City that we will be seeing over the course of this tournament. Seems to be fighting their way to get here, but it all comes down to this for them. Taking a look at how things land, you can see No Game, No Life and maybe Pro up at that northeast side, so a little bit of a rematch, a 3v3 in the northeast edge. That's not to say that there isn't more fighting potential over in towards that north side as well, but things are going to get a little bit dicey for them potentially here as Cucarachas losing players early, but it's traded off. ChillGuys not quite able to keep one player alive, but they have got 2 down on the flip side.
Yeah, Pulamet, last player alive here for him. Might be able to get this res up over the Cucarachas. It is looking dicey going forward, and he's forced forward here by the fact that Pari is taking shots from behind. Oh, goodness me, that nade is brutal.
A low HP player there. They're down on the staircases, need to be worried. A bouncer on the dart, spots him, and immediately drops back. Psychop there, sends his teammate in. But unfortunately, it's not going to be good news for Cucarachas. They weren't able to survive that barrage, and actually struggling. Is that AI just making them suffer on the approach there? No Game, No Life with a challenge around the door frame, trying to go for a mad dash out in the open. Immediately thinks better of it, and rightly so. Fiji getting a little bit too bold there.
You know, there is also potential here that No Game, No Life go into hunt mode. That's also a very valuable strategy here for them. If they just hold everyone out, no one gets any extraction value and they stay on top.
Absolutely. Definitely a viable option for them. They can also just take 1 or 2 players out of the mix, and that really reduces the value that you can extract because the inventory space just isn't available, right? You have got that option to just go for that situation where, sure, you might lose your entire squad, but if you've taken 2 players out of that enemy squad, there's only 1 inventory that could actually get out of the game from them in the future. Looks like they are just going to win these fights, though. And I think they've already managed to take 1 down, get that knock. They invested on the res towards the back lines there. So that is a really open knock, and pretty much they've got him dead to rights on the hold here. So for maybe Pro, they need a little bit more of an oomph here to go for it. Sonic suppression, stopping anyone playing close. Kyborg feeling the brunt of it.
Yeah, and they're going to use that to send out and into the building. Pika needs to be wary of this one, but suppression comes in just at the wrong time. Luckily, he's able to fight back, but takes a ton of damage. Will immediately have to go for the health kit on that one. Times down, and now just 1 player up and remaining here in Fiji. A very strong player, to say the least.
Depending on how fast this fight goes, it might be goes in a 1v1. Player on the back lines, finding their time, looking for those reses, looking for that healing to come on through the tube. He goes and is able to run straight through No Game, No Life. They can get these reses, they can pick everything up now, Blank. And with No Game, No Life out of the mix, the hunt is on.
Yeah, they definitely damaged maybe Pro a lot. Great position there on the sidelines to be able to pick up the players as they came in. Ghoul honestly was very clutch in that situation, but for No Game, No Life, despite that, they did their best, but they will be going home in Space City with absolutely nothing. Luckily for them, this map has been fairly difficult so far for any other team to extract with all that much value from. We saw only 1 team getting out with 800k.
We get a replay here. This is the fight between ChillGuys and Cucarachas. Of course, we know it didn't go the way of the Cucarachas. Once more, they were squashed, which is unfortunate. Managed to get the ledge grab cancel there. Very nice stuff. Excellent tech. Drops down, not taking the leg breaker on the drop down.
Here's Pari, who have moved up. He's using a standard best repair there. The purple gear back up to full HP. Yeah, already quite a few casualties. 2 teams down to no players. That's Cucarachas, as well as No Game, No Life.
Did maybe Pro lose a player fully there? Or are they able to get that res back up to 3? It seems like, yeah, they have managed to get them all the way back up. So now, teams are going to start to contest the central area here. At the moment, it's looking under the control of Wrath Squad. You've got Chinisez now moving in from that northeast flank through the test range to try and get a little bit more loot on board. At the moment, the team in second place, I think it's Pari, just looking to try and keep up pace, try and get what they can.
Yeah, I think with 2 teams already dominating straight away should make this game a lot easier for these squads going forward. I think for No Game, No Life, it is a slight mistake on their end because sure they could hunt, and I think that was actually a really good maneuver. I think as soon as they got that first knock, they could just guard that player. That's all they really had to do. They didn't have to push it. Very open space as well. They could have been anywhere in that location. They set up the sonic suppression. Came through at a good time, and a bit of a misplay from Pika as he dropped to the ground right in the face of Ghoul. But still, just holding that body would have been the smart play. Just play for time. They know they don't need a huge amount of loot, so they're not playing, they're not worried about losing time here on this map. There was 24 minutes remaining at this point.
Yeah, they are playing a different game at this point, but if there's a big extract on this match, that really changes the options they have available to them. Their fatal mistake was assuming that players wouldn't want to play in that sonic suppression, that it would be fully cleared. And it is a soft clear, it's not a hard clear on an angle. Speaking of hard clearing though, a couple of scraps starting to break out. Maybe Pro with more of a challenge on their card. They're going to try and take the fight. Chinisez lining up for him. Hops around, goes straight into the face of the fight, but does get taken down in response. A nice hold, but it will be all for naught. He's turned around, clapped back, and that's another team eliminated, going down almost all the way. Chinisez now one of the few teams in the middle.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams took what Goes said to heart, really, which is a case of you got to be more confident. You got to be willing to pull that trigger when it comes down to it and make these pushes. They certainly have done that. So Chinisez, they get up to 3 players. Now Pari, definitely the most dangerous team out of the 3 here. They're able to get through with another good chunk of money. They have a good chance to get up towards that 7 million mark that was set by No Game, No Life, who are out of this match. With only 20 minutes to go as well. Like, there's a huge amount of time remaining.
And not that many teams to worry about. You can expect maybe Pro to potentially just try and sweep through these edges, these fringe areas, and go for... I'd be surprised if they went for a paid extract, but it all depends on when that drop gets activated, right? You could even go down towards that launch pad if you're feeling like you want to get froggy as well. Try and get out that way, but it is always very, very dangerous to try and go for that rocket extract.
See how these last 3 teams do play this out. So maybe Pro, Chinisez, and Pari. 3 heavy hitters as well. May just be only the 1 player that makes it out alive here. 1 team, sorry.
No team super close to going for an engagement right now. Pari seemingly stalking through, but 2.5 mil. You definitely need a bit more than that on the value of the game. A lot of bullet holes in the wall there. Just going to put the fear in you a little bit, maybe. We'll have to wait and see, but Pari continued to sweep around in this central area, through these central warehouses, these buildings. You can see up in the top right, Chinisez have the high ground here. They're slowly clearing these angles.
I think for all these teams, like, life gets a lot easier now with just 3 teams remaining at 20 minutes. Like, you have a lot of options for extract going forward. Questions are smokes available? Are they ready for that extraction point? Are teams going to try and take the rocket extract? Maybe at this stage of the game, with so many of the teams already out and it getting a little bit more quiet around the map. That is certainly a possibility. And at this rate, you know, you're trying to catch up to 7 million. I think you'd be happy to let a team get a rocket extract and just take the helicopter for yourself.
The more danger, the more threat that's put on No Game No Life in terms of teams extracting, the less they have freedom to go for some pretty crazy plays and try and find it that way. Try and get that shutdown kind of play, which means that in turn, there's less threat on you. So maybe letting another team extract could have some unexpected benefits. You're right, leaving them alone as well. Just securing your own value. An option in this situation, but it looks like Chinisez and Pari not going to be happy to let sleeping dogs lie here. They've come into contact with one another, and I think extricate from this may be impossible.
Nice nade. Instantly healed up by Stinger, though. Another one sent in, but not close enough to Stickinson. A ricochet back onto yourself. That's pretty sad.
Unfortunate. Stickinson holding that angle, baiting out the shots there from Cyclops. Does take a tag towards the back lines. They know that they're holding this angle. They're trying to bait out these shots. There's that shock dart, but it's not going to actually take them off the angle yet. You see that barrel just bobbing past the entranceway. They're so ready for it. Does take a lot of damage on that peak. Goodness me. Playing with fire there. Not too sure what you're trying to achieve.
Cyclops got a nasty angle here. Always tough pushing into this one. Another nade sent through. So no damage found. Yeah, no damage found at all.
A nasty little angle with visual cover, just threading it through. Using that parabolic arc to play behind the visual cover. Very nice stuff. And Chinisez on the inside. Still just holding the angle. They're pushing through on this smoke. Okay. Chinisez taking the fight to Pari. They are in a massive chokehold there. And then A's towards the backline. They don't really isolate too much. A lot of pressure being felt. And Chinisez, I feel like they may have got a little bit too aggressive. The high ground from Stickinson is going to be such a difficult position to deal with. And Chinisez feel that and they back off.
Yeah, it's a good counter hack there. Coming through from Pari. Stopping them from making that push because they've got a lot of information. And Chinisez just opts to send out. They're going to head upstairs. No reason to continue to push this one. They realize that Pari's just got a great angle on this, and time probably better spent looting elsewhere going forward. Maybe Pro and Pari both on similar angles, and Pari decides to give up the ghost on this too.
Both disengaging. Maybe Pro, though, now starting to get a little bit closer to the center. Maybe looking to try and activate that helicopter extract a little bit earlier. That's what we said Goes wanted to see. With 17 minutes on the clock, there is still a lot of time left. But you can't really be too wasteful on it. 2.1 mil, not enough, really, to see yourself propped up. To take a look at the map, you can see some of the teams that have been left by the wayside. You got Wrath Squad in the middle. You got Cucarachas up on the north side. No Game No Life, northeast edge. All of these teams have gone down already, as maybe Pro jet across on the zipline.
Finally get themselves into the mix, into the action. Pari very much out of the way down towards the southeast side. Chinisez with the majority of the buildings to themselves at the moment. Being able to loot in towards CEO, potentially even take out the boss if they wanted. Now maybe Pro making their way around. Very open ground, maybe Pro's in, which is why they're quite cautious in their movements. You can see on the screen. But not a huge amount of loot on 3 of these teams. But can be quickly siphoned off if they're able to get a team squad wipe.
I think this is the interesting thing, right? For Pari, it's a huge amount more value to get out with 2 mil than it is for these other 2 squads. The fact that they're already on about 1.5 mil extracted value, we got a replay of that early knock. That's what you said you wanted to see them just go for the hold on, and may have been a good idea to go for. Nearly able to clip it down with a G18 around the side. This is how No Game No Life fell. earlier on. But for Pari, this extract here with about 2 mil would be hugely valuable. They're about 6 mil behind with 3 matches left to play. They can eat into that by 2 mil on this match. That gives them a massively greater opportunity on the next Brakesh to try and gain some more value back as well. We see that in general, Brakesh is a lot higher in terms of that extracted value. So we'll see if they're able to just get out with what they've got. 2.6 mil on board. I mean, it's a pretty hefty chunk out of that difference.
It's a good amount. And then it's just a hope that No Game No Life isn't able to get anything on that next match. But I think Pari, as well as maybe Pro and ChillGuys, all understand they need a strong game here to give themselves the chance at catching up. No Game No Life, again, it was a good start for them. They could have held for longer. I think you do have a little bit of those shaky moments in terms of nerves, especially the fact that they're, like everyone says so far, there's a lot of money on the line so far.
Yeah, that $3,000 first place prize, it's pretty hefty. It's got to be weighing them down a little bit. You're guaranteed at least... oh, wait, no, hang on a minute. No, it's only top 5 that get paid out, I think, in these operations, which means that last place team, the only team to go home with nothing. So getting any value will get you off that mark, right? And that's potentially what they're looking for. $600 for 5th place on these standings. So getting off of 0 is a good start, especially with the number. We've got 3 teams on 0 already.
Everything slows down a little bit now, though. We had so much action early on, which was somewhat unlike our other matches. And now we're backed into a bit more of Netflix and chill. All the guys on side. Just waiting for any team to make a move.
Yeah, and this is what maybe Pro said they didn't want to see. They wanted to see that helicopter extract getting activated. ChillGuys, I mean, they have to be the ones to do it, right? There isn't really too many more options. They have to be the ones to try and activate that extract. They're going to gain a lot of info moving across this open ground if they can spot anyone else, but I don't think that there's too much of a threat out on that eastern side, so won't see anyone. Won't get too much value. The soldiers has taken a couple of shots, dropping down on the ladder with a ladder stall on the drop down, saving time, not clambering all your way.
Pesky NPCs in here. Get those guys taken out. But this is the first noise that has been heard in this match for quite a while. So at least alerts the position to Pari as well as maybe Pro. And we go further down.
Yeah, dropping down for the safe. A dangerous position to go for. Of course, you're very, very much locked in if there's a team around you, but given their current situation, it makes sense. Oh, a long search there. Against Goblins nice. And a red watch. Really nice pick up there. That's going to bump their value quite nicely. You love to see it. Although it's only 218k, it's 1 slot. Right? That is a really big pickup. Maybe Pro making a move, potentially looking to try and challenge in the middle.
Yeah, that's the main thing, right? Is the fact that you're getting 1 slot worth of 200k, which is massive. Really saves on space as well. Especially if you're able to get any more squad wipes, like that's going to free up more position for even more loot on side. Yeah, pretty low count in terms of the cash value here. 2.6 so far.
Although split over all of our teams right now, the total value in excess of 7 mil right now. You do wonder if there's a little bit more that could be done. I mean, we'll see what they're able to get out of this game with 11.5 minutes, well, closer to 11 now, left on the clock. Taking the head off there. Psycho doing the work. Trying to scan for that loot.
The main issue is going to come down to the fact that when you get towards that end game, like the looting is not really available to you. If you're fighting over the helicopter extract, you're going for smokes, you're taking shots at people, they're falling inside those smokes. You're not going to have time to loot the boxes. You're going to be way more preoccupied with getting extract in the helicopter So again, as time starts to tick down, there is less and less chance for a good looting session.
Maybe Pro and Pari. Okay, they're in a standoff here. Down towards the southeast point of this. Romza, position known, the nade just tags a tiny bit of damage, but now this channel is known. Pari looking to marshal more presence over that direction. That one connects a lot heavier. Romza has to fully back off here, but immediately Stinger topping them back up. And there comes the extract. It's being called in. There is time to go for a backup extract on this situation. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, maybe Pro re-angling themselves. They have at least knowledge of where Pari, or this team that they've spotted, is playing, which is good to see. Sticking to them with a nice angle. Very, very long range. I think that might have been the rocket extract being called in.
It southwest side. Baxa in the thick of it, on his own at the moment. A lot of AI spawning in to try and contest this, of course. With the event starting, you can see them up on the high ground there. And the rest of Pari very split, which is maybe why they were reluctant to take that fight with Maybe Pro.
There's a cool decision to be made now. It's like, do the other teams just go for themselves a very chill extract on the helicopter and just let Pari out? Or do they challenge this? I mean, there is definitely a case for challenging for it because the loot is pretty decent as well from completing the extract.
Max are under a lot of pressure here by all of these AI. Turn around. Nice little headshot there on the shield bearer, though. Actually going to stop and go for a little bit of loot as well. Not really too much to pick up there. And immediately pops another. Slowly handling these AI. Of course, people are going to know that there's players in this area. Maybe Pro with suppression over towards ChiBrax, who are positioning themselves around that helicopter extract, which I think got activated earlier as well. But ChiBrax currently holding down the entirety of this outside area, and they do have smokes available, which is where we saw Maybe Pro criticize them before.
Kyborg spots one. Chow under a little bit of pressure.
Oh, we spotted him. Stickinson from Pari. Remember, they are doing that rocket extract, but they've still got a presence here, and you need to be careful. It does go down. Needs to be wary now. Stickinson, the only thing that's going to keep Pari up on this scenario. Going for the fast res. Does have that healing, which means it is a fast res. Able to get his teammate back up. A little bit of a bolstered HP total as well. So Pari will be okay for the time being. But that allows ground to be gained by Maybe Pro, by ChiBrax on the flip side.
Yeah, a lot of teams are trying to heal up. Looks like Ghoul doesn't have a surgical kit available. Get rid of that lingering wound. Get himself back up to full HP, which just weaken him slightly. Kyborg goes to look. Meantime, getting closer and closer to extract time.
Ooh. Stickinson's there. He spotted Ghoul, and that's a knock. Pari doing so much against the rest of this lobby, and remember, they're the team that's closest on the chase. I wonder if they're going to leave Stickinson as a solo. Or maybe they're just extracting Baxa as a solo as well on that off angle, leaving the other two to go for it. We saw them do it before. Maybe they're looking for it again.
But two teams effectively down to just two players now, with Stickinson doing a huge amount of work. Takes a nasty tag, though. I'm in the distance. I'll have to heal that one back up.
Little pickup on the hidden stash, swapping it out for a bit more value here. Maybe Pro starting to tag it all out. Baxa, I think in the meantime, should be nearly done, potentially, with this extract point. And Pari are not looking like they're going to move in, so I think we might see that solo extract on the rocket.
Which is better than nothing. Absolutely better than nothing. Hyborg still staying very vigilant. Trading a weapon. Oh, Stickerson still peeking. Meantime, Nox takes a fair bit of damage. Stickerson's being incredible on this spot. There's one extract going through at least.
I think I must have been... No, it wasn't. It wasn't Baxter.
Nah, that was over on, I believe, Chibrax getting one player out.
Okay. And now the rocket. It's going to be the main way out here. With that helicopter extract out of the mix. And he's just continually feeding this information back over. That dart, I mean, it has an excellent arc on it. It's just going to be scanning everything for Pari. They're up to 3 mil. There's a massive dent in it. They also have that paid extract available. And because if they're playing as reduced value inventories as well over in this angle for Pari, it might just be worth it to grab that paid extract, get out of there with whatever they've got, and use that rocket as the main extract.
Go's actually on a little bit of a mission over towards the rocket extract itself. I'm a bit worried for Baxter.
I mean, Baxter should be okay.
I think he's gone. Yeah, he's gone.
Okay, he's out of there. Fully extracted. Some value guaranteed. So, a dent put in the difference between Pari and No Game, No Life. Getting 0 value out of this game, No Game, No Life will not be able to extend their lead, which was pretty hefty to begin with. Mounting the final part to the rocket. Be sent out pretty soon.
Pretty much a case of see you later, Space Cowboy. I think that is a player getting fully flushed.
Ooh. Did we just lose another team?
We did.
Is that maybe Pro?
Maybe Pro actually just got taken out.
Oh dear.
My eyes!
Nicely done. See you later. I'm going to space. And the rest of Pari, they're just playing spoiler. This seems to be the general strategy from Pari Blank. They are just extracting one player with as much value as they can pack into their inventory, and the other two are playing spoiler to the rest of the lobby. So they're not just playing for their value, they're playing to reduce enemy value too.
Yeah, which is reasonable. It's a pretty decent way of making this one happen. I mean, for Pari, makes a lot of sense. Is it going to be enough to get them up towards that massive total? Potentially. But it's going to be tight going into that last game of Brakesh, which we already know that the guys over on No Game, No Life play extremely well. That's another player down there on Chibrax. Only one left alive, and Stickerson has done some serious work this game.
Dastardly devious in his approach to the game. A lot of damage to the second player. And the hop out, the swing around the corner. And that's Chibrax done and dusted. Pari sweeping up the game. They've got enough time to pull out a little bit more loot. And over the top he goes. Final player. Looking to pick up his teammate. Off in the distance here, though. Could potentially be dangerous. If he's not able to find what he's looking for. Wait, hang on a minute. Is that the UI wrong here? Is this... No, it is Pari who's still alive, maybe?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay, okay. Crisis averted.
It's probably a case of going with the paid extract now. I mean, they've only got 1 minute left. Unless it's already been taken. It's a UI bug, potentially.
No, I think they should be able to get out of there. No one else was controlling this zone. You see they are just... trying to find it. Yeah, the paid extract for Stickerson already activated with the backpack gone there. Checking the high value loot. They know nobody else is going to be left in this lobby. Let's see what they can get away with. Let's
trying to rearrange the inventory for as much value as possible.
Ooh, that's a cheeky little pickup as well.
Time to get a move on. 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Wait, is he... Oh, a clutch stinger dart. Goodness me. If not for
Right
that,
to
he
the
wouldn't have made it.
Very last second.
Wow, wow, wow. All right, there goes one extract. Wait, is Romza not going to make it? Did he miss it?
No, he's got it. 1 second left on the clock as well. Damn.
Wow. What a clutch dart. But there you go. Pari with a very big sweep there. I didn't actually get an exact count on how much value they got out of that game, but that is a great start moving into our last Brakesh of the day, of the tournament, to put a closer on it. But it does mean that it's kind of all or nothing for Pari here. They do need to stop No Game, No Life from going too much further, Blank.
Yeah, so we needed to see the guys on No Game No Life get a little bit of value, but let's take a look how things have shaken up in terms of the standings. We will have just the results for match 3 going forward here. No Game No Life were able to get 1 kill, but that's about it. ChillGuys was 7, but they were beaten to the punch by Pari, who extracted with a massive 4.2 million. A really good game from them.
Absolutely. You can see they put 1.8 mil onto Baxter, who got out in the rocket, but the fact that the other two were able to pick up as much as they did after picking through the loot that was presented to them by ChillGuys. Kyborg as well, the solo extract from Maybe Pro, keeping them in the running. But still, they were 6 mil behind at the start of this match, which means that they're now going to be, what is that, 1.8 mil or a little bit less, 1.7 mil behind. It is a very close race now. And if one of those two teams goes down early, it's kind of done for. If No Game, No Life get out with 2 mil, it may be too much, but it's definitely catchable.
Yeah, it's a real tight race going forward. So make sure you continue to tune in because we'll be back right after this short break. See you soon.
Come on. Almost there.
Admit defeat, rookie. Give it to me.
What? How do you even think about it? You don't know what you're doing. Give it back.
How dare you look down on me! Give it to me!
Looks like it's my turn.
With one match left to play, two clear front runners have emerged. With one game of a really massive, bountiful looting spree, No Game No Life are in the lead with 7.4 mil, but hot on their heels with now only 1.7 mil behind. It will, of course, be Pari, who we've seen earn their keep by dribs and drabs and progressively just making sure that nobody else can get away with anything under their watchful eyes.
Yeah, they've been doing pretty well, honestly. I've been very, very happy to see how Pari have been doing. That last game was just much more methodical, I would say, from them. Definitely made easy by the fact that 3 teams went down super early in that match, so you could be a little bit more tactical how you played it out against just 3 remaining teams. Let's take a look at the standings because we can see exactly how close Pari and No Game No Life are to one another. You can see here Raf Squad, Cucarachas, as well as ChillGuys, all very low against one another. I am curious to see what the tiebreakers will be. I'm imagining it will be kills at the end of the day of who will be taking home which prize pool. You see there 5.5 million to the 7.3. For No Game No Life, we know that Brakash holds a whole bunch of loot. So for Pari, this is all about not going down early. Pari goes out early and No Game No Life go out early as well. It won't matter. No Game No Life should still take that title if maybe Pro isn't able to get a massive chunky game.
We do see big extract values, though, on a game like this, right? On a map like Rakesh, that's where we saw No Game No Life get all of their value, right? They haven't managed to get any value out of the other games, so that's all come from that one map. It's a high-value map, and that means that anything can change. And honestly, I mean, literally anyone could win it, depending on what happens with No Game No Life at the start of this game. You can see we've only got this last match left to play. The team that I feel the worst for is ChillGuys. It feels like time and time again they're winning positions, they're getting a lot of loot on board. It's just their conversion to extracts that is really not working out for them, especially on their last Brakesh, where they came into contact with the remnants of Pari.
Yeah, early to mid game, they have it on lock. It's that late game that they just cannot figure out just yet, which is a little bit sad, realistically, for them. I think that for ChillGuys, they could certainly have done better. They are probably the most deserving team to be in 4th place, I would say, considering the kills that they've been able to accrue throughout these matches. But for Pari, as well as No Game No Life, those really good games have been there for them. For Pari, though, very much liking their gameplay, but Sickinson has certainly been a massive boon for the squad.
Yeah, I think that they're one of the few teams that's actually really delving into the strategic aspect of how you earn value out of these games, right? How you earn value out of this tournament. Yeah. Getting one player extracted, consistently getting over a mil per match is really good. And then you can also extend your ceiling, but not only that, taking other players down, right? There's 2 sides to that coin. You need more value in the end than another team. Well, you either earn value or you stop other teams earning value. Doing both, that's what Pari's been doing, and they're the only team to be doing it.
Which is just been the name of the game for Pari, which is the case of being able to juggle those 2 aspects. I think teams have become a lot more confident as the day has gone on. Obviously, it's a lot of pressure on a lot of these squads, considering they only have 4 matches to put up those gigantic totals towards the end of the day. And I think it has taken a couple of matches to be like, look, we just have to get in there and get some loot and take some kills as well at the same time. I think our match is starting very, very shortly, actually. So I'm very, very ready to get into this final Brakesh of the day and crown our victors of the Delta Force Community Operations Tournament.
Yeah, award out that prize pool as well, because it's pretty hefty towards the top. You get $3,000 for placing 1st place, and right now that goes to No Game No Life. We'll have to wait and see if that is going to continue to be the case. Of course, there's the most kills as well, which is worth $200 for the player that is able to rack up the most there. And then it's only the 6th place team that doesn't get anything on $0 from there up. It does start to increment, so some money being handed out from 1st to 5th. But if 3 teams get 0, I'm not entirely sure what that tiebreaker is. You're right. At the moment, if it stays as it is, the highest team elimination count, I think, is on ChillGuys. They had a load of elimination. I mean, they've won a lot of fights, right, in those early games, but they just haven't been able to convert, so they would win on that metric. But we'll have to wait and see, because our last game is just about to get underway.
Already, we got one squad, 115k, already located. Here we are on Rakesh with a couple of teams down towards the new Tower of Babel on that south side. Will be No Game No Life once again taking control of it. Lovely.
And Pari have managed to take that top spot again over on that north edge. So potential for them to sweep on through. Now, I'm expecting to see some gameplay changes, right? Teams need to go on the hunt to stop No Game, No Life, sweeping as they did before.
It is a weird one with both our highest scoring teams on an island on two separate sides of the map. So No Game, No Life and Pari unlikely to have too much of an impact against one another. But for No Game, No Life, look at this first breakout over towards that northwest side, looking over towards potentially ChillGuys. We're waiting in the wings. This could be an early down for No Game, No Life or ChillGuys, depending on what happens.
We saw them get bold with it last time around. They'll find the fight again, not taking one, and actually an answer there from Psychop, and now the backup's coming through from Brax. They're moving into position, and this is a really good start for ChillGuys here to be able to get that healing on board as well. The backups come through, the reses can come in, and No Game, No Life. They've been stunted in their approach.
Shots going through. This is a tough location to be in. Awesome shots from a Fiji. Very much needed. Chow moves up to the tree line. Should be able to spot one. An unfortunate timing on the fall. Can they find the kill, though? It's just about to see his backpack.
No Game, No Life having a rocker of a fight here. A little bit faltering. Not able to get that first, but now they've been able to get what they were looking for. And ChillGuys now down to one player left standing. To keep them in the tournament, they have had 0 value so far, and it may be this is where it all draws to a close against the tournament leaders right now. Around the corner, cannot hold this nerve, and that is the end for ChillGuys. They fall, and No Game, No Life profit.
Massive start there for No Game, No Life. And again, I think this comes down to No Game, No Life's really good understanding of spawn locations. They knew a team might be in this spot of the map, so immediately they head on over. They're trying to secure their position. And they'll profit from it. 1.2 million already on board for them. So, yeah, great job to No Game, No Life.
What a way to kick it off as well. They win that early engagement. I thought it was getting a little bit faltering. But it's just those angles that they were able to hold, play off one another, get those reses in a timely fashion. But there is a void now over towards the new Babel Tower. Who's going to fill it? Are they going to wrap back around, or is maybe Pro going to try and usurp that position on the south edge?
When we check back in with the map, we'll find out exactly what's happening on that side of things. Is Pari on our screens. Getting looted up to 616k already, so a nice result from them so far, but not close to the 1.3 million currently gained by the squad of No Game, No Life. Who, again, like we said before, they really just need to extract with a fairly sizable margin. They could do that with an ID extract, just like we saw from Pari in that last game. Even at around about 4 million, that would be a real good result.
Ooh, this is a big pickup. The helicopter's gone down, and that is going to give Pari a massive bump on their loot on that north edge, handled very, very quickly. Nicely spotted there. Let's see what they're able to get. Getting their handsaw in. Oh, super high value here. Looking for a little bit more potentially. But they're not even past a mil right now for Pari.
Yeah, but to be fair, getting the helmet repair is a nice boon for them going forward. Always need tons of those. But yeah, 1.9 million already for No Game, No Life after creating a lot of space themselves down to the new Tower of Babel.
Maybe Pro have managed to move in on that south edge. So No Game, No Life now need to fight into a team. They're on the other side of this engagement. Maybe Pro last time had the exact same approach to them. So did the Cucarachas. What's going on in that northwest point? What's going on there?
Yeah, they're looting. You're getting some on board. I will be curious to see this fight between No Game, No Life and maybe Pros. We saw it go very down to the wire that last time around. I don't think No Game, No Life wants any of it. We're just leaving a Fiji up in front. to scout out potentially.
I mean, if you allow maybe Pro to clean sweep the new Tower of Babel, there's potential that they could overtake No Game, No Life, depending on how much loot they're able to extract with here. And remember, you have to actually extract. It's not guaranteed that you're able to go for it. I feel like for my money, No Game, No Life, they just sit on that extract point near the new tower extract. And maybe just try and play spoiler to maybe Pro.
Yeah, it might be a good decision to make. Again, getting the ID extract within the new Tower of Babel would be good. For No Game, No Life to get out with at least something. But yeah, they really do need to take care of maybe Pro first. Here's Pari up against the Cucarachas. Spalkin spots one.
Ooh.
Is that a down already?
I think it might have been. Yeah, he was able to get him on the cross. Excellent pickup there. And Cucarachas may be stopping Pari dead in their tracks. The only team really close by enough to take down No Game, No Life. This is a big pickup and a big fight from a team that's really not had anything to say the entirety of this game so far, the entirety of these grand finals. Roms are now needing to hold down this angle. The res has come on through. You can see that reposition already for Stickinson. He's in a spot where potentially he's going to be able to get this res, and Romza needs to come up big for the team now. The Cucarachas not playing on the momentum. The smokes fade, and they don't really have an avenue in.
Yeah, Roms has got a really nice angle on this left side. Cucarachas being a little bit slow about this. Not willing to go all the way. Need a little bit of information. Still one player down, not fully rezzed yet. Stickinson unwilling to go for that long resurrection time. All the while, Wrath Squad is waiting in the wings.
This could get nasty. Wrath Squad will have heard those shots coming on through. They'll hear this utility going down as well. Romza. I think they know he's on this corner. Yeah, with the dart that came through. They've scouted this.
They also got some flashbangs over towards that location. Some tags. There goes another one. He's looking
It's all
away.
up to Stickinson.
I think they did get the res there, actually. For Pari. Potentially.
No, he's still down. And Romza immediately rattled.
It might be over.
It is all up to Stickinson. Goes for one. Looks for the trade. Headshots there. Looking for the backlines now. Is Wrath Squad going to wage war into this fight as well? Drops down to the lower angle. Opens up the door. Now the smoke's there. Immediately picking up his teammate. Able to crawl on back. Carries him in. Onto the indoors. Two players on this fight could change it all.
Yeah, all the while, I think Wrath Squad did find one player from Cucarachas. Now looking for a little bit more onto LXQ.
Romza's crawling. He might be able to make it.
There's been some damage done. Actually, No Game, No Life up to 5 kills. So I feel like they are actually taking down maybe Pro here in the process. Only one player remains in Goes.
And they've got all three of their players looking fairly healthy here as well. Looking for the ankles. I think they might have spotted it. Drops the bolt. Stops the approach and Goes. Cannot get to the rest of his team. So No Game, No Life. Isolating the new Tower of Babel. And nobody else apart from maybe Pro is here, which means there's only one player for them to worry about. It could be a second massive game for No Game, No Life. There is that potential.
Yeah, the way things are going right now for Pari, they are super stuck in. I mean, it will be an unbelievable result if Stickinson's able to get his team back up to full force. Game No Life just looting up the bodies. 3 million now acquired. See off the distance there, 2 players from Pari are alive. 1 player still down. Out in the open in Romza. Bleeding out as well.
Pilfering through 3.3 mil for no game, no life. Goodness me. Just one player left standing. And with 3.3 mil, kind of no matter what, that feels like it's going to be solid for them. I'm pretty sure over on the north side, Pari are still up on 2. They've only got 674k, but they've got players to worry about in the meantime. This is not time from No Game No Life. This is in fact a different squad, the Wrath squad, who are playing up towards a little bit more central on this one. They're sweeping over the north edge, and with Pari looking for the reses, they may come into contact with a full force squad.
Yeah, right now Wrath squad's got full control over the extract as well. Pari do get 3 players back up, which is fantastic. Good shots onto the load of munitions mid-air. They get a bit of information off the back of it, but not much more than that. Cucarachas wandering on the outside, though. Pari is locked in.
Has the extract been burned on the north side?
I'm not sure. Not sure. Either way, this is horrid for Pari. Either way they go, they are forced into a fight.
But the thing is, inaction is also a choice here. And you don't want to allow that fight to come to you on 2 fronts. It's generally a much better situation if you choose a fight to go for. You push out, but you need to conclude that fight fast, because the other side of it will come towards you as well as soon as you start pulling those triggers.
I think both the teams are just unsure what to do next. How to go about it. Again, for the Cucarachas, Wrath squad, it is important to get at least some extraction value, because then they'll secure themselves a position without having to worry about anything like kills in terms of tiebreakers. Comes the swarm UAV, but Stickinson has not had enough.
Oh, the res just in time there. And he's going aggressive on this. I mean, going crouch, going out with a knife, trying to get the wrap around here. And they've chosen to go for a fight blank. They don't really have too many options. They have to get out of this position. But they're both peeking this corner. And the Cucarachas are ready for it. Big flash, but it's not in time. We'll be able to hold this angle past the tree. Just nailing the spray down between the branches. Excellent stuff to be able to get that pickup.
Reasonable play here coming through from Pari. Better to go for the devil you know than the devil you don't, and they've already won a couple of engagements here versus Cucarachas. Despite it getting sticky, I think they're quite comfortable in this engagement. Stickinson has been doing a good work here. Unfortunately for them, they do lose 1 player on the approach. And good data dagger sent out there. That's information passed back across using the loaded munition.
Look at Stickinson. Slow and cautious, but they're aware of this flank potentially being there. Instead, he's going to trample his way on over here. Try and figure out a way to get through this game, but there's a low value here. And it is unfortunate, but at this point, I feel like Pari's game is done, and it's the Cucarachas who wants to seal their fate. In the meantime, no game, no life. They're on the hunt. They want to go straight on through, but they're hopping straight to the line of fire. Fortunately, they're able to handle business. And maybe Pro will fall entirely. No game, no life, winning the new Tower of Babel again has probably just sealed the deal on this game, Blank, and on this tournament too.
Yeah, with 15 minutes remaining, yeah, it's looking good for them. Goes at least leaves them a present before they go down. Well, nice little nade. Martyrdom. Everyone nice and healed back up again. But yeah, this should be pretty free approach. Everyone else in this game is preoccupied with that fight on the north side.
That is really unfortunate stuff, but up to 3 mil again. They can clear, sweep straight on through. Could potentially be another 7 mil extract. They're able to find it. They might just break the records. But we'll have to wait and see. Other options available. With only Stickinson alive for Pari, they have to hope that for some reason No Game No Life aren't able to get away with this one. But I think that the extract on the north side did get expended, which might mean that there's a fight over that south edge extract towards the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, now the question I have in my mind is whether the guys on No Game No Life go for a paid extract or the ID extract. Go from there. It might be a decent choice to go for. Cucarachas looting for the first time in 3 matches, it feels like.
Well, hey, you don't want to be last place, and this is the way to do it. Getting any value out of the game, right? It's exactly what you want to see. And they'll find a little bit, which is nice. A little boon to them. At the moment, I think it's Chinisez who have not managed to get any value out of any of these games. They went down in a fight earlier as well. I think the other team who didn't have any value was Wrath Squad, as well as Cucarachas. Which means that if both Wrath Squad and Cucarachas get out of this one, they will leave Chinisez in the dust in dead last.
It looks like they are going to go for an ID extract here. Exchange some loot onto just one player. 3.4 mil. Very nice. Oh, dear me, they took a lot of damage from that.
Pari is pretty close by. This is Stickinson.
Ooh.
He's right on top of No Game No Life.
2 players are downed. Well,
What just happened? I think they get these reses pretty quickly, but did they just drop off the...
I think they... maybe Sickinson had some good damage over towards them. That or the machine gunners
I think
gave No Game No Life a horrible time.
Okay. Secret Agent Cody Banks, though.
Yeah, Sickinson masquerading as one of the heavy machine gunners.
On the Havoc payroll. Oh, that flashlight will give the game away if you look up there, though. I think, yeah, wise to turn that one off. Is he waiting on this paid extract?
I think he is. It actually makes it very hard. A No Game No Life to get up. Stickinson going for a huge play here. I mean, it wouldn't matter anyway at this point in time.
Well,
unless he can get out himself.
Yeah, because what is it? Oh, up they go. No Game No Life. Okay, they're using a different shaft there. But they are going to draw the Havoc AI towards them. Let's see what they can do. They are looting through the entirety of this. Just to make sure. They know that there's a team pretty close by towards them. And they're worried about the AI.
That's a horrible sound.
Hate that. Terrifying.
There's Stickinson.
He's right there. Right next to the shield bearer.
I don't think they know.
They have no idea. He's fully snuck his way through, but the question is, how much value can he get for this? He needs to find at least one player unawares fully. And he's just turned away from the door. Oh, he's going to allow them in. Okay, he's going to allow them to play nice and close to it. He's right there, but this could be a tournament-changing play if it all goes according to plan.
My God.
He's heard all of this.
Cracking the case as well. It's hilarious. All in one room. One good spray could spell the end of them.
I mean, absolutely. If they don't check this angle, I mean, it could be curtains, but It's unlikely that he's able to get it done, but if it works, they are not that far behind for Pari. He knows that... Oh my goodness me. If Stickinson steps up now, there's 2 players dead to rights.
Catch them while they're looting. It's got to be done. Tim, so funny. I mean, he's not making too much noise right now. He might try and catch them on the exit. But I think one player from Pari is holding.
Oh. Now this is interesting. We've got more teams joining the party on this south edge. Stickinson's up for the fight. Are they all in here?
This is horrendous. Actually, a crazy result here that we found ourselves in. Stickinson going for the hero play.
I mean, it's the only play he's got left, right? It's the only way it works. I think it's Wrath Squad on the ground floor. Oh, he's going for it. He's trying to pull the trigger. Spotted a player, gets the down. Okay, first blood has been drawn, and now into the fight. They need to find it. No game, no life. Looking for the pickup. Spray down. A lovely angle found. A sliver. And Stickinson now on the corner holding his nerve. Looks for the second spray as well. 20 rounds left in the chamber. Looks for the reload. Pushes forward. Smoke covers there. Backing up. Finding the loot. And that is a little bit done, but the rest is still to follow.
Goodness me, being able to take some away from them as well. And the rest of No Game, No Life was just not prepared. One player extracted, though, already. So they were able to get at least some loot.
And there he goes into the waiting arms of Wrath Squad in the ground floor.
How much were they able to get out with that? Certainly wasn't 3.9. Stickinson still being alive is a little bit of a... I think that the problem is that Stickinson needs to extract with a lot of money. And I don't think he can get enough money on his person.
Unless he gets, like, a couple legendaries. It's going to be real rough going. He's picked up an enemy backpack there. At the moment, he's on 1.5 mil.
He needs something in the range of like 3-4 million, though, right? That's the real issue. It's possible, but I think the extract's going to be the hard part.
Certainly is. And he's got a full squad downstairs. You can probably get up towards 3 mil here, total. If he's lucky. But the question is, what does that do for you?
Comms are probably going crazy right now. Especially if the lads are watching over his shoulder there, seeing the mad plays he just made. Cucarachas, as well as Wrath Squad, still up and kicking. Cucarachas looking to get out of this match and secure a pole position at least, as our Wrath Squad.
You do really wonder how much value actually extracted with No Game, No Life. They had it all, but it slipped away a little bit. 2 of their players going down. They got 1 extract out of this game. So the question is, how much value did that find? And the second question is, what can Stickinson find as well? Drops a smoke immediately on dropping down. That's wise. You don't know if anyone's waiting for you. He's moving out.
End of the day for Stickinson, though, it's somewhat of an unfortunate moment where it was so last minute for No Game, No Life, and I think that initial kill just kind of made them pull the trigger on the extract. They were like, look, we just need to get out. You get 1 player out at least. 4 minutes on the clock. Not a lot of time here for a lot of our teams.
It's really not. The extracts need to be activated, and you need to be getting away with this one, but...
Pancake.
I love that. I love it so much. It's like, oh, guess I'm done. Whee! No sniping for you.
So, Cucarachas, as well as RAF squad. Last two full teams here. See if they can get out. Extraction has been called in. I think Cucarachas are heading over towards it. RAF squad should be doing the same.
Interesting. And Stickinson's going to try for it too as well. So if you can find some third-party situations, that could be quite profitable. Remember, second place is not an amount of money that you can ignore either. It's $2,000 for second place. It's a $1,000 bump up towards that first place, of course. But even so, holding on to that second place could be what's weighing on the mind of Pari. And they're doing pretty well, and it looks like they may be able to secure it here, but it all relies on Stickinson extracting and no other team pumping up those numbers in a big way. Because at the moment, 3.2 mil, it's pretty good, but is it going to be enough to jump up that far?
So he's heading over towards the extract now. 1.6 million in the back pocket, like you say, $2,000, a real reasonable amount of money to be walking away from this tournament with. I think they'll be very happy with that indeed. And Pari is pretty much got Stickinson to thank for this.
I think Stickinson only has 1.1 mil in the pockets right now. The rest is on a dead teammate or two.
I think even the thing for Stickinson, he doesn't know that maybe Pro's gone down, so he's still trying his hardest to get this extract. Luckily, he is playing Stinger, so he has the smokes available for himself, which would be really critical to escape alongside with another team. They want to go for the double extract.
I mean, Wrath Squad and Cucarachas, they have to fight each other out in the open here. Stickinson may actually be able to make this work here.
He could make a smoke run. Absolutely, he could make a smoke run in.
2 minutes on the clock, Blank. They have to go. They have to go now.
Time's getting tight. Stickinson has stuck this out. Majority of the game. A hat comes through. Does it reveal his position? Oof. We've seen this before on our last game.
30. Out they go. Cucarachas pull the trigger first. Wrath Squad are there. And over the top, he's looking for the spray down, but that's not going to go well. Has to fall out. Full flash, full blind. Dashes for cover, darts away, and Stickinson left out in the cold here. He is on the extract with 1 minute left on the clock. He's looking to just try and get out of there. Hops up and into the smoke. Why are you playing on the top there? But it's unexpected. It might just work out. Here's the smoke run that they're looking for, but immediately he's spotted and Stickinson goes down. Now, the rest of the teams are looking to try and move their way on in. A minimum extraction value needing to be found here, but Wrath Squad, they're just not moving. Has anyone told them that there's a timer?
They've been smoked off as well. Again, early to mid game, Wrath Squad have it all. Late game, unfortunately, not really their forte. But they have to push out. Smoke train out. LXQ on a horrid angle on the side.
Spray. Moving forwards, a lot of damage done and dealt back and forth, but who was able to get out? What value did they find, and what does that mean for the overall tables? Blank, it's going down to the final moments here. I'm not entirely sure who was able to get away with that one, but I think both teams extracted with something in the back pocket.
Yeah, a little bit. I think some players went fully out, and I think Cucarachas wasn't able to get too much. I think for Cucarachas, likely a 5th place potentially here for them. We'll have to wait and see. I'm more interested about the top side of the rankings. It's going to be pretty close between Pari as well as No Game No Life, but I think we're fairly certain that No Game No Life have taken the prize home of first place and $3,000. And Stickinson, although he wasn't able to extract, certainly made it close towards the end there.
Absolutely. He wasn't able to get any value, but will their total hold in second place as well? How much did Wrath Squad get out with? It's all going to be when we get those results on in. I think that, yeah, if one player from both of those two teams extracts, that means that ChillGuys as well do not get any value at all on our 4 matches and therefore end up in 6th place, which means that they might be the team going home with nothing, which is really unfortunate considering how strong they've been in some of their engagements.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super unfortunate if that's the case. Here are the highlights with ChillGuys getting decimated by No Game No Life. This was just a very, very good amount of map knowledge coming through from No Game No Life. Not nap knowledge, because they certainly were sleeping through these matches. Fiji finding the last one there over towards Nox. And he has been significantly strong throughout the entirety of this. They go for the same strat, get a quick extract over towards the ID. And I think for No Game No Life, that 7.4 million game really was the nail in the coffin for a lot of other squads, because then they could play so safe throughout the rest of the day, just getting a little bit of money here and there and just staying ahead of the rest of the teams.
And it was No Game No Life who were able to do so much damage to the majority of the lobby on Rakesh. Weren't able to get out of this game with too much, but it probably has been enough to see themselves solidified at the top of the tables. And for the first time in Europe, we will crown a champion in the community tournament. No Game No Life, as they were chasing down the rest of maybe Pro, who I think, you know what, they didn't really get a fair shake over the course of a lot of these games, and they tried, but No Game No Life were just kind of their major hurdle they just couldn't cross, and it seems like a lot of the time that was where they fell, was in the face of No Game No Life.
Yeah, for Dickinson, certainly a really strong player overall. I think that he was one of the major clutch players out the entirety of this tournament, alongside him and Fiji. Really, really fun stuff.
I'm just taking a look at these final moments here. It looks like there was one knock and the other two. Okay, another knock. I think that one got extracted, and there is the standings. In 6th place, ChillGuys with 0 value, but 12 kills to take home with them. They can be pretty happy with that. Nox in with a chance of getting the most kills in the lobby with 7, so potential for them still to get a little bit of money on board. Maybe Pro in 5th place with 1.8 mil, 2.4 for Cucarachas in 4th.
2.4 and 1.8. Here are the standings for our grand final. So ChillGuys will sadly be taking 6th place and not grabbing any of the prize pool, despite being extremely potent in terms of the kill factors. Maybe Pro with 1.8 mil, taking 5th, and Cucarachas, after that last game, were able to jump up by quite a bit. So they certainly lived out in the end.
Yeah, nicely done there. Able to get some value out of it, which is what you want to see. Maybe another player going down could have been the 5th, 6th differentiator, but it is No Game No Life at the top of the podium, and a Fiji with 10 kills. Okay, he's going to take that one home. And almost 10 mil in value, almost doubling Pari's total.
Yeah, a huge scoreline for No Game No Life. What a ridiculous result from them. Again, that one match kind of spelled their victory, right? 7.2 million. No one could challenge them. And they weren't easy games for No Game No Life either. They were all very, very tough overall. And they were able to pull through very nicely. So I was super pleased to see that happen.
Yeah, and a Fiji with the double-digit kill count as well. Beautiful stuff to be seen. That new Babel Tower really is where they saw all of their profit for No Game No Life. That's where they've extracted the entirety of that value, almost 10 mil on 2 matches that they played. The other 2, they weren't quite so lucky. Getting a little bit overzealous on those engagements, but it's not going to matter. And it seems like Rakesh is the money builder for a lot of these teams, right? In this situation, certainly much more than Space City. Let's take a look at top kills overall over the course of these last 4 matches. And of course, it is a Fiji on 10, Nox in 2nd place with 7.
Yeah, clearing away the highest amount of kills there for a Fiji who had such a good time. Again, sad to see Nox on ChillGuys taking 7 kills, but only dropping down to 6th place. Big congratulations to Pari and Raf Squad as well, by the way. 2nd and 3rd place. Bearsol Wagner, Psychop, and Stickinson with 4, though that doesn't really show the kind of tactical capability or Stickinson they had throughout the entirety of these matches. Here's our top value as well with Pika from No Game No Life, who they were sending home fairly often and very early over on No Game No Life to ensure they had a huge amount of money by the end of it.
Hey, you want to know something funny? Is look, Pika, his value alone actually gets first place as well. That is higher than the total of Pari in second place if you just take Pika's value there. But they had the rest of it as well, and they were able to pad out those numbers. A great start for them. So a lot of accolades going the way of No Game No Life. So we'll take a look at just what they're able to achieve in the future as well. We have got an interview lined up with a Fiji from No Game No Life, our tournament winners. They were able to come first place convincingly. Congratulations, Fiji. Thank you very much for joining us. Have you enjoyed your experience at the community tournament so far?
Yeah, hello guys. I'm happy for the tournament win. Thank you my teammates for comment. And take it, I sent thanks for my brother and my brother wife. Experience for tournament very, very hard. I don't know we will win. Very hard. And good experience for tournament.
Absolutely. You guys were the best on Brikesh easily. 7.2 million on that one map was unreal. How did you feel after being able to extract with 7.2 million?
Thank you. We kill, listen, we kill enemy team, and the enemy team dropped a red item. We search it and go extraction. His more extraction, 70 million.
Yeah, it was huge. I have one last question. I think we were talking to maybe Pro from earlier. They said that they had hidden some loot in a bush, and you guys actually found it in that first Brikesh. Do you guys remember how you felt when you were able to find that?
Repeat please, I don't understand.
Maybe Pro, when you killed them in the tower, they had hidden some loot in a bush. How are you guys able to find that?
Item?
Yeah. It's okay. Don't worry. We'll move on.
My enemy Pro teammate going to inside Brikesh in tower, and we kill him.
For sure.
And then you were able to grab all of those pieces. I mean, do you think that the strategy that Pari were using, where they would extract one player with a lot of value and then letting the other two players stay and try and stop other teams from extracting, do you think that would be that would be seen more if the competitive side of operations it continues into the future? Or do you think that you guys have the right idea of sticking together and just going for those fights on the south side in Brikesh?
Можно перевод? Чуть не понял.
It's all right, man. Don't worry. Congratulations on your win, by the way. We really appreciate that you joined in for the community tournament. Is there anything you'd like to say finally to fans, friends, family that made it possible?
Thank you. I am very grateful to everyone for this game and victory experience to my team, Pika and Time, as I was to my family, my brother and his wife. Thank you for game. Thank you for 2 minutes.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Fiji, and hope you take care. Thanks so much, and congratulations on your win.
Excellent stuff. Him and his team taking home that $3,000. Fantastic news for them. They'll be able to get a couple of cool cosmetics or do whatever they want with it over on their side. So fantastic to see that conclusion there. And I think that for No Game No Life, their strategy obviously was working out, but it was heavily reliant on just being able to win New Babel Tower every single time. I think if we see this this sort of style of tournament continue into the future, Pari's style may be more prevalent in terms of just consistent earnings, and certainly on a longer than 4-game set, I think it may be more profitable. But when you're playing these short sprints, it's going to be a lot more impactful to just have those massive games every now and again.
Yeah, absolutely. I really wanted to ask him about the name of the team, but shame, unfortunately. But overall, really nice guy is Fiji. Definitely didn't seem like the demonic player that we witnessed in game with the 10 kills. Seemed like just a very chilled out guy. But this has been an awesome tournament so far, and it's been really, really fun watching the operations unfold and the very start of the meta, I guess, for Delta Force.
Yeah, absolutely. That developing play style, you guys can take that as well into your games. Of course, you can download Delta Force for free on Steam and check it out there. Play these operations, try and get as much value as possible. But you can also take a look over to Warfare, where we've been playing during this community tournament as well. We'll be seeing more of that tomorrow. So if you're interested in the Warfare side of Delta Force, you can tune in then. Later on, we'll have the NA side of things as well for operations. So there's so much more Delta Force for you guys to enjoy. If you want to stick around, stay tuned for all of that. Of course, there's always more to play, and we'll see you guys in the future whenever you decide to tune in. Hopefully soon. We'll see you there.